Chapter 1647. Human Brat, Go to Hell! Yi Chunfeng was bound, and his body was severely damaged. His life was hanging by a thread. The man in the luxurious robe shouted as he injected a large amount of qi and blood into the two treasures. He activated the treasures and attacked Yi Chunfeng at close range. Boom! Boom! The sky-piercer halberd and the battle axe slashed at Yi Chunfeng's body. The two attacks were so powerful that they distorted the extremely tough void. However, they did not harm Yi Chunfeng at all. "You're the one who's going to die, not me," Yi Chunfeng said coldly as the golden glazed battle armor, which was a lower-grade Transcendent Saint artifact, appeared. In the next moment, the heaven-level sword soul brought with it boundless sword intent as it slashed down on the heavily injured man in luxurious robes. The sword slashed open his body and crushed his soul, killing him on the spot. After killing the man in the luxurious robe, Yi Chunfeng immediately took away his belongings. An earth-shattering power erupted from his body. His body was constantly expanding as he tried to break free from the white dragon rope that was binding him. "Young friend, don't struggle in vain. My white dragon rope is refined from the tendons of a real dragon. With your strength, you can't break free." At this time, the beautiful young woman who had tried to exchange for the spatial divine wood branch appeared with 3 experts whose auras were not weaker than hers. "However, if you're willing to give me the spatial divine wood branch, I might be in a good mood and leave you a whole corpse." "Humph, it's just a half-transcendent saint artifact." Yi Chunfeng snorted as a huge 5-colored tree shadow appeared from his body. Under the attack of the chaotic divine wood, the white dragon rope that bound Yi Chunfeng's body cracked. It could not bind Yi Chunfeng's body at all. 5-colored divine wood? What kind of treasure is that? The beautiful young woman's eyes widened. She didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to have such a trump card. She quickly shouted, "Everyone, let's attack together. After we kill him, we'll divide the treasures on his body." After saying that, the beautiful young woman and the others used all of their skills to fiercely attack Yi Chunfeng. They wanted to take advantage of the fact that Yi Chunfeng was bound by the white dragon rope to kill him. The beautiful young woman and the others had 2 5-star demon masters and 2 4-star demon masters. Their strength could be said to be unprecedentedly powerful. However, the defense of Yi Chunfeng's golden glazed battle armor was even more terrifying. It easily blocked their indiscriminate bombardment. "Chaos Divine Wood, break for me!" At this moment, the Chaos Divine Wood had grown into a towering divine wood. It stood in Yi Chunfeng's body and forcefully broke the white dragon rope that was a half-transcendent saint artifact. Godless sword. The white dragon rope shattered. 4 heaven-step Tao diagrams appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body. He deduced the Tao intent to the extreme. Wielding the giant spirit sword, he slashed out with his strongest move. A black sword light tore through space, swallowing all of the light in the starry sky. It was as if it wanted to split the sky in half as it slashed towards the beautiful young woman and the others. For a time, the entire starry sky was pitch black. It was as if the only thing left in the world was this invincible divine sword. "Not good, quickly dodge." Feeling the terror of Yi Chunfeng's sword, the beautiful young woman and the others' faces changed. They didn't dare to meet it head-on and wanted to dodge. However, Godless Sword's attack speed was too fast. In the blink of an eye, it slashed towards the 4 of them. Bang! Bang! The bodies of the 2 4-star Demon Master Realm powerhouses were instantly chopped into pieces by this frightening sword light. As for the beautiful young woman and her companion, although they relied on their 5-star Demon Master Realm strength to resolve the crisis, they both suffered heavy injuries. Run! Yi Chunfeng's combat strength had exceeded their imagination. They didn't dare to stay here for long and wanted to quickly escape. "Purple lightning, extinguish for me." Yi Chunfeng quickly sent out a palm. The terrifying purple lightning transformed into 100,000 feet long and ruthlessly slashed towards the beautiful young woman and her companions. Although the beautiful young woman had predicted the danger and dodged the fatal blow of the purple lightning, her 5-star demon master realm companion wasn't lucky enough to escape. He was struck by the purple lightning, and his body was nearly destroyed. At this time, the heaven-grade sword soul transformed into a several-foot-long sword and slashed over. It dragged along a terrifying Tao intent, and the sword split him in half, killing him. 3 of her companions were all killed by Yi Chenfeng. This caused the beautiful young woman's 3 souls to be scared out of her wits. She regretted that she had been possessed by greed and had come to attack Yi Chenfeng, causing her to be unable to extricate herself from the desperate situation she was in. Now, it's your turn. Yi Chenfeng quickly flapped his sword wings and caught up with the beautiful young woman at an extremely fast speed. He summoned the universe sword array and launched a tide-like attack at her, suppressing her completely. Demonic puppets block. The beautiful young woman knew that begging for mercy was useless. She constantly summoned demonic puppets with extremely strong defensive power to block Yi Chenfeng's attack. However, the universe sword array had been continuously upgraded, and its power was comparable to a low-grade transcendent saint artifact. Under the ferocious attacks of the universe sword array, the demonic puppets were constantly shattered by the universe sword array. They couldn't threaten Yi Chenfeng at all. Universe sword array, universe strike. When the beautiful young woman was completely suppressed, Yi Chenfeng controlled the universe sword array to fuse together, transforming it into an invincible divine sword. It descended from the sky and slashed the beautiful young woman down from the void. She ruthlessly smashed into the ground, creating a large crater. It's over. Yi Chenfeng didn't give her a chance to catch her breath. He flew down with the universe sword array, wanting to kill her in one go. You want to kill me? Try again in your next life. The severely injured beautiful young woman revealed a trace of viciousness. She quickly took out a fist-sized crystal filled with destructive power and detonated it, wanting to kill Yi Chenfeng. The moment the self-exploding crystal exploded, the beautiful young woman hid in her cave residence and used the defense of the cave residence to block the explosion of the self-exploding crystal. Humph, you want to hurt me with a mere self-explosion? Yi Chenfeng coldly snorted. A layer of golden light enveloped his body. With the help of the golden glazed battle armor, Yi Chenfeng easily blocked the explosion of the crystal. Primal Chaos Divine Wood, break for me! Yi Chenfeng summoned the Primal Chaos Divine Wood. Its 5-colored treetops swayed as it ferociously attacked the cave residence of the beautiful young woman. Under the ferocious attacks of the Primal Chaos Divine Wood, the cave residence of the beautiful young woman continuously cracked. In the end, the Primal Chaos Divine Wood created a large hole. Whoosh! Yi Chenfeng's body flashed and flew into the cave residence. He erupted with over 15 billion gene of strength and continued to attack her. He was determined to kill her. Wait, as long as you are willing to let me go, I am willing to submit to you. Unable to block Yi Chenfeng's ferocious attacks, the beautiful young woman, whose injuries were getting more and more severe, had no choice but to beg for mercy. She begged Yi Chenfeng to let her go. Although she was 30% stronger than the Blood Skull, as her strength increased, ordinary Tao Lords were no longer worthy of Yi Chenfeng's attention. Yi Chenfeng wouldn't waste a God-Eater brain on her. Submit to me? You are not worthy. Yi Chenfeng was unmoved and continued to attack her ferociously. Ah! A pitiful voice rang out beside him. The beautiful young woman's arm was chopped off by the heaven-grade sword soul. Large amounts of blood spurted out like a fountain, causing her to scream hoarsely. Die! With a thought, Yi Chenfeng controlled the heaven-grade sword soul to attack a second time. The sword slashed open the beautiful young woman's head and crushed her soul, killing her on the spot. P.S. Everyone, please pay more attention to Yunlei's WeChat public account, YLTY83. Pictures of the main characters will appear on this account in the future. Chapter 1648. Not bad, not bad. You've given me quite a pleasant surprise. Yi Chenfeng placed the beautiful woman's cave dwelling into the universe realm. As he appeared outside Falling Star City, an icy voice sounded out. Death Demon Yiksha wore a black robe, his entire body fused into the night sky. He held a 10-foot-long trident in his hand as he slowly floated out from the black cloud. You finally can't help but want to attack? The God-Eater brain was heaven-defying. It had already sensed the existence of Death Demon Yiksha. Yi Chenfeng had also been on guard against him, but he still hadn't attacked. From this, one could see just how confident he was in his own strength. That's right. It's time to draw in the net. Death Demon Yiksha nodded. As he arrogantly spoke, the strength of a 6-star demon lord erupted from his powerful body. All right, then let me experience whether or not you are as strong as the rumors say. Although Death Demon Yiksha's strength was terrifying and Yi Chenfeng had clearly exhausted himself from the fierce battles, his eyes didn't reveal the slightest bit of fear. Then let's see whether or not you can force out my trump card. As Death Demon Yiksha spoke, he gripped his trident and stirred up the momentum of space. Like a towering mountain, he chopped down at Yi Chenfeng. Bang! The trident collided with the giant spirit sword. A loud clap of thunder sounded out, spreading out for millions of miles. Although the trident in Death Demon Yiksha's hand was a half-transcendent saint artifact and its strength far surpassed the giant spirit sword, Yi Chenfeng's physical strength completely suppressed Death Demon Yiksha. In a head-on collision, Yi Chenfeng didn't fall into a disadvantage. Instead, he knocked away the trident. Your strength is decent. But if you want to defeat me, pure strength is not enough. Death Demon Yiksha didn't reveal the slightest bit of surprise. The muscles on his body rapidly swelled, and he erupted with a heaven-shaking strength. With the trident in his hand, he fiercely attacked Yi Chenfeng, completely suppressing Yi Chenfeng. Facing the tide-like attacks of the dead demon Yikshas, Yi Chenfeng did not shrink back. He erupted with over 15 billion gene of strength to meet the attacks head-on. He engaged in an intense battle with the dead demon Yikshas outside Falling Star City. Due to the huge commotion caused by the fierce battle between the two of them, many cultivators with extraordinary strength in Meteor City were alarmed, causing them to show up one after another and hide in the distance to watch the battle. What kind of background does that person have? He actually fought fiercely with the death demon Yiksha and didn't fall into a disadvantage. If I'm not mistaken, that person is the human brat who bought the old branch of the spatial divine wood. But why is it only the dead demon Yiksha who wants to kill him? Where are the others? You're too late. There were already several groups of people trying to kill that human brat, but they were all killed by him. A Ghost Lord level expert who had originally wanted to kill Yi Chenfeng but had been frightened by his strength and had been hiding in the dark walked out from the shadows and spoke in a low voice. What? That human brat's battle prowess is so terrifying. No matter how terrifying he is, it's useless. The dead demon Yiksha is not someone he can deal with. Legend has it that the dead demon Yiksha had once killed a half-Dao god expert. His true strength is comparable to a true deity level expert. Many people were very familiar with the dead demon Yiksha and knew how terrifying he was. Thus, they didn't have high hopes for Yi Chenfeng. As for Yi Chenfeng, he had also experienced the terror of the death demon Yiksha when he had erupted with heaven-shaking power. He had unleashed the full power of his physical body, and only then was he able to fight evenly with the death demon Yiksha. Junior, it's time for the game to end. Let me send you to the afterlife. The dead demon Yiksha suddenly revealed a strange smile. He opened his mouth and spat out a dark golden flame, which bombarded Yi Chenfeng at close range. In an instant, Yi Chenfeng was swallowed whole. This is the true spirit sacred flame. Feeling his skin, which was comparable to a low-grade true spirit sacred artifact, was being burned by the dark golden flame, Yi Chenfeng frowned. He immediately guessed that this flame was most likely the legendary True Spirit Sacred Flame. True Spirit Sacred Flame, burn him for me! The dead demon Yiksha spat out a mouthful of blood essence into the True Spirit Sacred Flame, suppressing its power. It burned Yi Chenfeng's body, wanting to burn him to ashes. Primal Chaos Divine Wood, devour! When large amounts of True Spirit Sacred Flame entered Yi Chenfeng's body through his pores, the primal Chaos Divine Wood that was rooted in his Tao core extended tens of thousands of five-colored roots, covering Yi Chenfeng's entire body. They frantically devoured the True Spirit Sacred Flame to protect themselves. In the next moment, Yi Chenfeng controlled the heaven-grade sword spirit to fly out of his sea of soul. It turned into a peerless white light in midair, and with the power of destruction, it slashed towards the dead demon Yiksha. And the dead demon Yiksha frowned slightly and raised his trident, neutralizing the heaven-grade sword spirit's sure-kill attack. True Spirit Sacred Flame, continue burning. The dead demon Yiksha was clearly aware of how terrifying the True Spirit Sacred Flame was. He'd narrowly escaped death in order to subdue it, and he didn't believe that a mere two-star Tao Lord like Yi Chenfeng could resist it at all. However, when he ceaselessly spat out True Spirit Sacred Flame to burn Yi Chenfeng, he noticed that not only did Yi Chenfeng not show any signs of pain, the True Spirit Sacred Flame he spat out was flowing away at an extreme speed instead. This caused the surprise on his face to grow denser. What does he have? The dead demon Yiksha noticed a trace of unusualness. He felt that Yi Chenfeng was hiding a huge secret, and he hurriedly withdrew his True Spirit Sacred Flame. Universe Sword Formation. At the instant the dead demon Yiksha withdrew his True Spirit Sacred Flame, 170 True Spirit Sacred Swords flashed out of Yi Chenfeng's body and floated above him. They transformed into an invincible divine sword that slashed down towards him from a short distance away and blasted him back with a single strike. Following that, Yi Chenfeng controlled the heaven-grade sword soul and fused it into the universe sword formation, infinitely increasing the power of the universe sword formation. He deduced the sword formation's various forms of attacks and attacked the dead demon Yiksha with all his might. Interesting. I didn't expect you to have so many secrets on you. Facing the attack of the universe sword formation that was comparable to a lower-grade transcendent saint artifact, the dead demon Yiksha did not retreat. He rapidly deduced the Tao will and waved his trident rapidly, interweaving terrifying trident shadows to attack the universe sword formation. Misty Sword of the Great Tao. When Yi Chenfeng saw that the universe sword formation was still unable to suppress the dead demon Yiksha, he continued to change his move. Holding the giant spiritual sword in his hand, he slashed out a sword light that was derived from the Tao of heaven and earth. It tore through space and slashed towards the dead demon Yiksha. Boom! The misty sword of the great Tao ruthlessly slashed at the dead demon Yiksha's trident that was blocking in front of him. In an instant, the power of the Tao will continuously attacked the dead demon Yiksha's body and forced him back dozens of meters. What? The dead demon Yiksha was actually forced back by that human brat? Heavens, how could that human brat's battle prowess be so terrifying? This is too shocking. Witnessing the scene of the dead demon Yiksha being forced back by Yi Chenfeng, everyone present revealed a look of deep shock. They were shocked by Yi Chenfeng's shocking battle prowess. Not bad, not bad. You really gave me a big surprise. It's worth it for me to use my full strength to kill you. The dead demon Yiksha revealed a sinister expression. A black battle suit appeared on the surface of his muscular body, covering his entire body. The black tower that he wanted to take out to exchange for the spatial divine wood branch also appeared in his palm, suppressing all directions. 9-layered black tower, suppress. The dead demon Yiksha roared as he struck out with the black tower. With a suffocating suppressive force, it pressed down on Yi Chenfeng. In the instant that the 9-layered black tower suppressed Yi Chenfeng and restricted his movements, a low-grade Transcendent Saint artifact grade black sword appeared in the dead demon Yiksha's hand. It was sealed with a powerful black sword. With a single strike of the sword, it tore through the void and destroyed the universe sword formation. With a terrifying demonic might, it pierced towards Yi Chunfeng, wanting to kill him in one go. Chapter 1649. Chaos Divine Wood appear. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Wood to block in front of him. He borrowed the Chaos Divine Wood's divine might to block the Death Demon Yiksha's double attack. Boom! Boom! The 9-layered Black Pagoda suppressed the Chaos Divine Wood while the Death Demon Yiksha's demon sealing black sword slashed at the Chaos Divine Wood at the same time. Facing two fatal attacks at the same time, the Chaos Divine Wood stood firm, blocking the Death Demon Yiksha's killing move. What kind of divine wood is this? The dead demon Yiksha's eyes widened as he stared at the Chaos Divine Wood that was emitting a 5-colored divine light in the air. His eyes were burning with desire. He had a feeling that the Chaos Divine Wood Yi Chunfeng summoned was even more precious than the spatial divine wood branch he wanted to buy. If he could obtain it, he might be able to take the most difficult step and break through to the demon god realm. Phew! A level 6 demon lord is indeed not so easy to deal with. Yi Chunfeng had used almost all of his means, but he still couldn't injure the Death Demon Yiksha. This made him deeply understand the difference in cultivation level and how terrifying the Death Demon Yiksha was. Human brat, it seems that I can obtain many unexpected treasures after killing you. The Death Demon Yiksha revealed a cruel smile. He controlled the 9-layered Black Pagoda and fiercely attacked Yi Chunfeng with the demon sealing sword, determined to kill him. Soulless sword. The Death Demon Yiksha's strength was too terrifying. He was the strongest enemy Yi Chunfeng had encountered so far. He didn't dare to hold back and deduced the 4 heaven-level Dao diagrams to the limit, using his strongest move. The sword slashed out, and the light in the entire space was instantly swallowed up. The terrifying sword light mercilessly slashed at the Death Demon Yiksha. Demon Sealing Sword unseal. Sensing the fearsomeness of Yi Chunfeng's attack, the Death Demon Yiksha quickly undid the seal on the demon sealing sword. A powerful demonic energy erupted from the demon sealing sword, transforming into a malevolent demonic face. Along with a sword shadow that tore through space, the face met Yi Chunfeng's godless sword head-on. Rumble! The two attacks collided, causing the space to tremble once again. As the two terrifying attacks collided, tiny spatial cracks continuously spread out. It seemed as if the entire space would shatter at any moment. What kind of power is this? Yi Chunfeng did not expect that the demon sealing sword in the Death Demon Yiksha's hand was not just a lower-grade Transcendent Saint artifact. There was a powerful demonic energy sealed within the sword. He was shocked by the Death Demon Yiksha's methods and foundation. This dead demon Yiksha must have obtained the inheritance of a great figure. Otherwise, he wouldn't have so many treasures on him. It should be noted that a low-grade heaven-reaching saint weapon was definitely the most precious treasure of a sect in the Qingyun realm. Even an overlord force like the Green Sky clan only had 2 low-grade heaven-reaching saint weapons. However, the Death Fiend Yiksha alone possessed 2 transcendent saint artifacts, and he was even wearing a powerful semi-transcendent saint artifact battle armor. His foundation was simply too shocking. Demon Sealing Sword / Using the sealing power of the Demon Sealing Sword to block the Soulless Sword, the Death Demon Yiksha held the Demon Sealing Sword tightly with both hands and slashed out again. The terrifying sword radiance broke through the 2 intense attacks and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng with endless power. Chaos Divine Wood break. Feeling that the Death Demon Yiksha's sword radiance had completely locked onto him, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to meet it and break the Demon Sealing Sword / I'd like to see how many times you can block my attacks. The Death Demon Yiksha looked at the Chaos Divine Wood that had broken his attacks again and again. With a shocking demonic aura, the death demon Yiksha attacked Yi Chunfeng, completely suppressing his attack. Cosmos Sword Formation. As the death demon Yiksha attacked, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Cosmos Sword Formation to block the death demon Yiksha's attack. However, the death demon Yiksha had unlocked the demon sealing sword, and his attack power had soared to an extremely terrifying level. Yi Chunfeng's heaven-ranked sword soul had merged into the Cosmos Sword Formation, but he couldn't block the ferocious attacks for a moment. He was forced to retreat by the demon sealing sword. Cosmos Strike. With his attack suppressed, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the 170 Supreme True Saint swords to merge together and slashed at the death demon Yiksha. 9-layered Black Pagoda Break. The death demon Yiksha's thoughts moved, and the 9-layered Black Pagoda rapidly flew over and heavily collided with the Cosmos Sword, forcibly dispersing Yi Chunfeng's killing move. Sigh, it seems that with my current strength, I won't be able to kill him. The death demon Yiksha's strength was too terrifying. Yi Chunfeng felt that he had no chance of winning. In addition, the Grand Mist Bloodline's amplification effect had begun to decrease. Yi Chunfeng wanted to retreat as soon as possible. 9-layered Black Pagoda suppressed the heaven and earth. After understanding Yi Chunfeng's intention, the death demon Yiksha continuously spat out mouthfuls of blood essence from the 9-layered Black Pagoda. He controlled the 9-layered Black Pagoda to continuously expand until it was the size of a mountain, suppressing the heaven and earth, not giving Yi Chunfeng a chance to escape. Primal Chaos Divine Wood, support the heaven and earth. Facing the 9-layered Black Pagoda's attack, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Primal Chaos Divine Wood to continuously grow until it was several hundred feet tall. It supported the heaven and earth, tearing apart the 9-layered Black Pagoda's suppression. While the Primal Chaos Divine Wood was suppressing the 9-layered Black Pagoda, the death demon Yiksha closed in on Yi Chunfeng and slashed at Yi Chunfeng with the demon sealing sword, forcing Yi Chunfeng to defend with all his might. Sigh, that human brat's momentum is gone. Yeah, although that human brat is heaven-defying, the gap between him and the death demon Yiksha is too big. He can't rely on external forces to make up for it. Seeing Yi Chunfeng retreating step by step and being suppressed by the dead devil Yiksha, many people revealed expressions of schadenfreude. There were also many human experts who sympathized with Yi Chunfeng. However, the death demon Yiksha's strength was too terrifying. The human experts watching from afar didn't dare to help. They could only watch as Yi Chunfeng was struck by the death demon Yiksha's sword and smashed into the ground, creating a huge crater. Purple Lightning Break. The death demon Yiksha wielded the demon sealing sword and slashed at Yi Chunfeng. Purple lightning appeared in Yi Chunfeng's palm. He struck out with his palm, and a 10,000 feet long purple lightning shot out, piercing through the sky and bombarding the death demon Yiksha. When the death demon Yiksha wielded the demon sealing sword and slashed out a majestic sword mountain to break the terrifying purple lightning, Yi Chunfeng took advantage of the fact that the Hong Meng Blood's amplification effect hadn't worn off to send out more purple lightning to attack the death demon Yiksha. Although the purple lightning was a semi-transcendent sacred artifact, its extreme break attack was no weaker than an ordinary low-grade transcendent sacred artifact. Under the attack of the purple lightning, the death demon Yiksha's attack was restricted. However, Yi Chunfeng knew that once the Hong Meng Blood's amplification effect wore off, he would have no choice but to hide in the Cosmos realm. I didn't expect you to have so many treasures on you. You really are the best gift the heavens have given me. The killing intent in the dead demon Yiksha's eyes grew even thicker as it continuously stimulated its own potential. Wielding the demon sealing sword, it slashed through the purple lightning's attacks. It was determined to kill Yi Chunfeng and take everything from him. Godless Sword. In the face of danger, Yi Chunfeng didn't wait for death. He burned his powerful blood chi at all costs, deducing the 4 daos to the extreme and activating the strongest attack of his heaven-grade sword soul. He used the godless sword to forcefully parry the death demon Yiksha's attack, and tried to break out. Demon sealing power break. He didn't dodge and continued to activate the demon sealing power in the demon sealing sword. He forcefully resisted Yi Chunfeng's godless sword, not giving Yi Chunfeng a chance to escape. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng couldn't hold on any longer, and was about to withdraw the Chaos Divine Wood and hide in the Cosmos realm, a blurry figure suddenly appeared, holding an invincible sword. The sword light that was more dazzling than the sun interweaved and slashed at the death demon Yiksha. Chapter 1650. Bam! The death demon Yiksha, who had been invincible and undefeatable just a moment ago, was sent flying by this sword strike. Blood flowed down the demon sealing sword's hilt. "Are you all right?" After slashing the dead demon Yiksha back with a single strike, the blurry figure gradually became clearer, revealing a handsome young face. Yu Yeming. Yi Chunfeng was surprised to see the man who had saved him at such a critical moment. He didn't expect that Yu Yeming, who he had met by chance, would save him at such a critical moment. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and said gratefully, "Thank you for your help. I'm fine. You just focus on recuperating. Leave those greedy people to me." As he spoke, Yu Yeming wielded a sword of light that was 6 feet and 6 inches long. Countless sword lights interweaved as he attacked the death devil Yiksha. "You're courting death." The death demon Yiksha didn't expect Yu Yeming to save Yi Chunfeng at such a critical moment. He flew into a rage and charged forward with the demon sealing sword. Bam! The 2 high-grade sacred swords collided, and the resulting explosion shattered the void. Although Yu Yeming's cultivation level was lower than the death demon Yiksha's, he didn't fall into a disadvantage. Instead, he suppressed the death demon Yiksha's attack. Middle-grade sacred sword. The death demon Yiksha's eyes widened as he looked at the sword of light in Yu Yeming's hand. His eyes burned with desire. Middle-grade sacred artifacts rarely appeared outside the Void God realm, and their value was unimaginable. "I didn't expect you to come from the Void God realm. Unfortunately, you shouldn't have provoked me." The death demon Yiksha revealed a ferocious smile, and revealed his final trump card, which he rarely used. Chaos Essence Pearl, Strength Amplification. The death demon Yiksha roared and fused with a low-grade sacred artifact pearl in his body. He instantly jumped a level and reached the level of a low-grade demon god. "Humph. You're too naive if you want to kill me as a mere first-grade demon god." Yu Yeming sneered and used his trump card to unseal a powerful force in his body. In the blink of an eye, Yu Yeming's strength rose steadily, and it instantly surpassed the limits of the 6-star Daolord realm and attained the Dao God realm as well. After crossing over to the Dao God realm, Yu Yeming's strength still skyrocketed. In the end, it stopped at the peak of the 1-star Dao God realm, which was several times more terrifying than the death demon Yiksha. What kind of trump card is this?" Death demon Yiksha didn't expect Yu Yeming's trump card to be even more heaven-defying than his own. For the first time, a trace of unease appeared in his heart. "If you can block 10 of my moves, I'll spare your life." Yu Yeming's long hair fluttered in the wind. His heroic spirit was overwhelming. He was like a golden rock, emitting a fearsome and invincible sword intent as he attacked the death devil Yiksha. Black Tower, suppress heaven and earth. As Yu Yeming attacked, death devil Yiksha immediately controlled the Black Tower, a low-grade transcendent saint artifact, to suppress Yu Yeming. He wanted to slow him down and reduce his attack. Break! Yu Yeming's pupils constricted. A shocking sword ray shot into the sky and into the 9 heavens. It stirred up space as it slashed at the 9-layered Black Tower, and it directly slashed the extremely powerful Black Tower away. After slashing the Black Tower away, the terrifying sword ray that shot into the sky slashed down like mercury towards death devil Yiksha, whose expression changed drastically. He had to defend with all his might with the demon's sealing sword. Death Devil Yiksha relied on his powerful strength to forcefully resist the remaining might of Yu Yeming's sword ray. His vision blurred, and a sword ray suddenly approached him like a bolt of lightning. He didn't have the time to think at all, let alone dodge. He could only defend with all his might with the demon's sealing sword. Boom! Yu Yeming's second slash landed on the demon's sealing sword that was placed before Death Devil Yiksha's chest. The terrifying sword might passed through the demon's sealing sword and continuously attacked his body, shattering his defenses and forcing him to retreat repeatedly. Dimensional slash. Without giving Death Devil Yiksha a chance to catch his breath, Yu Yeming launched his third move. Space trembled violently, and a crescent moon slash that seemed to have come from outer space tore open a crack in space. Dragging along the terrifying power of space, it slashed towards Death Devil Yiksha at a speed several times faster than the speed of light, causing him to fall to the ground from midair. Goo, what terrifying strength! Who is that young man? Death Devil Yiksha is actually not his opponent. He's the one who sold the old branch of the spatial divine wood. I really didn't expect him to have such strength at his age. If I'm not wrong, he should be from the Void God realm. He must be from the Void God realm. Only there can give birth to such a peerless genius. Witnessing the scene of Yu Yeming sending Death Devil Yiksha flying, the spectators were deeply shocked by Yu Yeming's strength. Even Yi Chunfeng was amazed by his strength. Why do I feel that he's so familiar? Seeing Yu Yeming displaying his invincible might, Yi Chunfeng had a strange feeling in his heart. An indescribable feeling seemed to be telling him that he should know Yu Yeming. Fourth move. Yu Yeming roared out. With a flash of light beneath his feet, he gripped his sword and continued to attack Death Devil Yiksha. With a slash of the sword, Yu Yeming strangely vanished from the void. And the moment he vanished, a towering and invincible sword mountain appeared in the silent void. It tore through the void, bringing with it a destructive force as it slashed towards Death Devil Yiksha, who was struggling to fly out of the hole. Bang! Unable to dodge, Death Devil Yiksha met Yu Yeming's sword mountain head-on. Once again, he was sent flying by Yu Yeming, crashing into the ground. Large amounts of blood flowed out from the cracks in his battle armor, dyeing him red. Dao Core Ignition. Despite being heavily injured, Death Devil Yiksha did not give up. He gritted his teeth and ignited his source of power, forcibly stabilizing his injuries. Then, he used his strongest killing move to attack Yu Yeming. However, Yu Yeming was several times stronger than him. Coupled with the fact that the medium-grade Saint artifact was just too powerful, his killer move was unable to turn the situation around. It was cleaved apart by Yu Yeming's sword, and the terrifying sword light landed on his body again. It tore apart his battle suit and left behind a deep wound on his chest. Yiksha, it seems that you won't be able to last 10 moves from me. Yu Yeming looked at the heavily injured and greatly weakened Death Devil Yiksha and said, "Fine, let me send you to the Yellow Springs with one move." Winged Extreme Breaking Sword. Yu Yeming's body disappeared again. The next moment, the chaotic void suddenly split apart, forming a strange chasm. Numerous invincible sword lights shot out from the chasm, as if wanting to destroy the world, instantly swallowing up the Death Devil Yiksha, who was screaming in fear and defending with all his strength. Boom! The moment the winged extreme breaking sword slashed down, the ground within a radius of several miles caved in. The terrifying power shattered everything, creating a bottomless pit outside Meteor City. And the Death Devil Yiksha, whose strength was comparable to a 1-star demon god, had long been turned into ashes, dying under this destructive sword. Terrifying, the power of this sword is too terrifying. What is the origin of this Yu Yeming? He actually knows such a terrifying sword technique. After witnessing Yu Yeming's destructive power, Yi Chunfeng was deeply shocked. Not to mention the Death Devil Yiksha, he felt that even if the fiend god Torch Dragon recovered from its injuries, it might not be able to withstand this sword attack. The death substitution wood is too precious. Exchanging it with the space divine wood is a bit unfair to you. This Yiksha's remains will be given to you as compensation. After killing the death devil Yiksha, Yu Yeming did not take away his treasures and instead gave him to Yi Chunfeng. Many thanks. Yi Chunfeng will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Yi Chunfeng did not stand on ceremony with Yu Yeming. Suppressing his injuries, he flew over and took away all the remains of the death devil Yiksha. Brother Yi is too polite. We will meet again someday. With that, Yu Yeming's body flickered, turning into a sword light that soared into the sky, disappearing into the chaotic void. Chapter 1651. The reflection of the starry sky flowed with the wave. After leaving Falling Star City, Yi Chunfeng did not waste any more time. He controlled the battleship and flew through the starry sky towards the distant 100 Battles starfield. He was prepared to participate in the 100 Battles martial competition that was held once every 100 years. Although he knew that with his current strength, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to obtain first place in the 100 Battles martial competition, he still decided to give it a try. Not to mention, he also wanted to see how terrifying the top geniuses of the heaven domain were. I wonder what treasures this dead demon Yiksha and the others left behind for me. Yi Chunfeng ordered the Blood Skull to drive the battleship towards the 100 Battles starfield while he returned to the universe mirror to check on the treasures left behind by the dead demon Yiksha and the others. True sacred flame, this is good stuff. Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Tree and swallowed the true sacred flame that the dead demon Yiksha had subdued. He then controlled the Chaos Divine Tree to fuse the 3 sacred flames within the tree. The 3 sacred flames were of high quality. After fusing, they would transform into the true sacred flame. At that time, he would be able to control 2 true sacred flames and use the sacred flame triple transformation. After the Chaos Divine Tree swallowed the true sacred flame, Yi Chunfeng took out the dead demon Yiksha's greatest trump card, the Chaos Essence bead that could greatly increase one's strength. He studied it carefully and dripped his blood on it to bind it. Yi Chunfeng had the Grand Mist blood, so he easily bound the Chaos Essence bead. Information about the Chaos Essence bead appeared in his mind. Low-grade Transcendent Saint Treasure. What kind of fortuitous encounter did this dead demon Yiksha obtain? He actually has so many Transcendent Saint treasures on him. After learning the grade of the Chaos Essence bead, Yi Chunfeng was overjoyed. He fused the Chaos Essence bead into the Shen K meridian in his navel, replacing the heaven-suppressing bead. Demon Sealing Sword, what secret is this sword hiding? While controlling the Life Essence bead to fuse with the Chaos Essence bead, Yi Chunfeng took out the Demon Sealing Sword and tried to bind it with his blood. Grand Mist Blood, who are you? Why do you have the Grand Mist Blood? Suddenly, a ferocious voice sounded from the Demon Sealing Sword greedily. And who are you? Yi Chunfeng was stunned, revealing a trace of surprise. He was surprised that the sealed soul in the Demon Sealing Sword had recognized the primordial blood. Humph! This devil is a devil spirit that was born when the world was created. Of course I know about the primordial blood. The Demon Sealing Sword's demon spirit said arrogantly, You, on the other hand, are the weak human. To think that you possess the primordial blood. How surprising! The devil spirit that was born at the beginning of the world. Yi Chunfeng didn't believe Mo Ling's nonsense at all. If you are so powerful, why would you be sealed in a low-grade Transcendent Saint artifact? What do you know? Do you think a lower-grade Transcendent Saint artifact can seal me? The demon spirit said disdainfully. What? Isn't this sword a lower-grade Transcendent Saint artifact? Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows in surprise. Of course, this sword is made of ancestral gold. It is a genuine ancestral artifact. However, no one can inscribe tool patterns on ancestral gold. Therefore, This sword can only display the power of a lower-grade transcendent saint artifact. The demon spirit said patiently. How can I inscribe tool patterns on ancestral gold? Yi Chenfeng asked. Why should I tell you? The demon spirit snorted coldly. Demon spirit, I don't think you have told so many secrets to the dead demon Yiksha. The reason you are telling me so much is because of the primordial blood. Yi Chenfeng said. That's right. The primordial blood is the #1 bloodline in the universe. Those who possess this bloodline are definitely not simple. Also, do you think I can help you? Yi Chenfeng continued. It's easy to talk to smart people. The demon spirit said, Boy, how about we make a deal? I will help you inscribe ancestral marks and help you defeat your opponent. In return, you will help me reconstruct my devil body and let me see the light of day again. If I help you find a perfect devil body, you will be able to reconstruct your devil body. Yi Chenfeng said with a flash of inspiration in his mind. That's right. The demon spirit said. What do you think of the devil body of a 6-star devil ancestor? Yi Chenfeng said with a faint smile. Junior, I advise you not to fool this devil. You know what kind of existence a 6-star devil ancestor is. He can kill you with just a fart. The demon spirit said without any trace of politeness. I know I am not a match for a 6-star devil ancestor. However, I know of a place where a 6-star devil ancestor is suppressed. Not long ago, I destroyed the remnant soul of that devil ancestor. When the time comes, we should be able to plan for you to erode that devil ancestor's soul and reincarnate in his body. Yi Chenfeng told the demon spirit in detail about the mystery of the 6-star devil ancestor that was suppressed in the Sea of Stars. 6-star devil ancestor. The demon spirit was tempted. If he could really reincarnate in the body of a 6-star devil ancestor, then he would have a chance to take revenge for being sealed. Junior, you must swear by the heavenly Tao to help me reconstruct my devil body. After you swear the oath, we will cooperate. The demon spirit said. Okay. Yi Chenfeng nodded and happily swore the oath by the heavenly Tao. Now, can you tell me the method to inscribe the ancestral mark? Forget it, seeing that you're quite sincere, I'll tell you this secret. The demon spirit slowly said, the key to inscribing the ancestral mark is to find an item. Only that item can inscribe the ancestral mark in the ancestral artifact. What item? Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows and quickly asked. The chaos stone that was born when the world was created. The demon spirit said, as long as you can find the chaos stone, I can help you inscribe the ancestral mark in this demon sword. Where can we find chaos stones? Yi Chenfeng said with a slight frown. That will depend on your luck and ability. The demon spirit said, I am only responsible for inscribing the ancestral mark for you. The task of finding the chaos stone will depend on you. Demon spirit, what sort of might can you make the demon seal sword display before you inscribe the ancestral mark on it? Even though the colossal spirit sword was formidable, the might of a top-grade true spirit saint artifact was clearly insufficient if he wanted to obtain good results in the 100 battles martial competition. So, he had to rely on the demon seal sword. I can't bring forth the true might of this sword without the ancestral mark, and I can only make it attain the mid-grade transcendent saint artifact at most, said the demon spirit. A mid-grade transcendent saint artifact. That's enough. Yi Chenfeng revealed a trace of delight. His combat strength had risen by almost 100 times with the demon seal sword in his possession. Coupled with the amplification provided by the Godblood Pearl and Chaos Pearl, he was fully confident in his ability to kill ordinary 6-star Tao Lord. After completing the transaction with Mo Ling, Yi Chenfeng continued to check the belongings of the dead demon Yiksha and the others. Other than the low-grade Transcendent Saint Treasure 9-layered Black Tower, he also obtained the White Dragon Rope, the Battle Axe, the half-Transcendent Saint Treasure Battle Armor, the Sea God's Trident, the Sky Piercer Halberd, and the beautiful young woman's personal cave. Yi Chen-feng gave the battle axe to the Black Rock Emperor, the divine sea trident to Imoba, and he intended to repair the battle armor and give it to Xia Wendi. Besides these numerous extremely precious transcendent saint artifacts, Yi Chen-feng had obtained many other world-shocking treasures. In particular, the dead demon Yixiao had many pills that even Tao gods would covet. 1 mid-grade transcendent saint pill, 8 low-grade transcendent saint pills, 12 half-grade transcendent saint pills, 38 9-star true spirit saint pills. Besides these medicinal pills of immeasurable value, Yi Chen-feng had obtained many rare saint artifacts as well. Especially the adamantium saint tree, heaven-rank blood coral, spiritual blood mushroom horse, half-saint sword grass, and 3 10,000-year-old lifespan fruit. So long as Yi Chen-feng was given sufficient time and relied on the medicinal pills and saint artifacts he obtained from the Yixiao, then it would be sufficient for him to break through into the 6-star Daolord realm and attain the second level of the combat body realm. What's this? Suddenly, Yi Chen-feng noticed an extremely inconspicuous scroll amongst the Yixiao's possessions. When he sent his soul energy into the scroll, he noticed that the seal on the scroll was unimaginably strong. He utilized the God-Eater brain and exhausted a great deal of effort before he was able to break through the restrictions on the scroll. The spatial restriction. Yi Chen-feng swiftly browsed through the scroll, and he knew why the Yixiao was willing to exchange the Black Tower for the spatial divine wood branch. The spatial restriction was a defensive divine ability that was cultivated with the energy of space as its foundation. The deeper one's comprehension of the energy of space was, the stronger the defensive strength of this technique would be. If one was able to cultivate the energy of space to the 9th level, then this technique would be able to resist the might of an ancestral artifact. Yixiao, thank you so much. There's still around a year before the 100 battles competition. I'll cultivate in the universe realm for 10 years and see if I can rely on these saint pills and saint artifacts to improve my cultivation a step further. Yi Chen-feng distributed a huge amount of saint pills to Xia Wendi, the Black Rock Emperor, and the Blood Skull. After that, he gave the Chaos Divine Beast and the other saint beasts a huge amount of demon cores. After that, Yi Chen-feng sat cross-legged within the space where time flowed 10 times faster, and he regulated his breathing simply before he tossed the damaged quasi-divine armor and a huge amount of top-grade equipment refinement materials into the 3-legged sacred cauldron. He diverted some of his attention to control the 3-legged sacred cauldron to repair the armor, controlled the God-Eater brain to comprehend the spatial divine wood branch, consumed numerous medicinal pills that could make Daolords go red with envy, and charged into the 3rd-star Daolord realm with all his might. Chapter 1652. Time flew by swiftly within the space of the 3rd level of the universe realm. Master, we've arrived at the 100 battles starfield. Right when Yi Chen-feng was immersed in comprehending the spatial divine wood's old branch and cultivating the spatial restriction, the transmission pearl in his pocket lit up, and the Blood Skull's voice resounded from it. After cultivating in the universe realm for almost 10 years, Yi Chen-feng had refined a huge amount of precious true spirit saint pills and forcefully raised his strength to the peak of the 2nd-star Daolord realm, and he was only a step away from breaking through to the 3rd-star Daolord realm. After cultivating in seclusion, he'd grasped the 4 levels of the spatial laws, the spatial dimension transformation, and he could utilize the powerful energy of space to condense the dimensional slash. Moreover, he'd grasped the basics of the spatial restriction. Most importantly, 2 true spirit saint flames had appeared within Yi Chen-feng's body, and he'd refined the half-saint sword grass, causing the might of his heaven-rank sword soul to rise a step further. Even though Yi Chen-feng hadn't broken through, his strength had risen explosively. If he were to face the death fiend Yixiao again, then he was entirely capable of defeating it. However, his current strength was far from sufficient to kill a 6-star demon lord. On the other hand, Xia Wendi, Blood Skull, and Black Rock Emperor had consumed a huge amount of precious medicinal pills and demon cores, and their strengths had obviously risen. Xia Wendi, who'd cultivated to the peak of the 5-star Dao Emperor realm, had obtained the quasi-transcendent Saint artifact battle armor that Yi Chunfeng had refined and a personal cave abode. Her defensive strength had risen greatly, and she was capable of protecting herself during the 100 Battles martial competition. Head directly to the 100 Battles city. There was still around a month before the 100 Battles city martial competition. Yi Chunfeng didn't waste any time and ordered the Blood Skull to drive the warship directly to the core of the 100 Battles starfield, the 100 Battles city. On the way to the 100 Battles city, Yi Chunfeng's group encountered many experts, and they'd come to the 100 Battles starfield with the same objective: to participate in the 100 Battles martial competition that was held every 100 years. The 100 Battles martial competition was the largest martial competition that the Divine Sky Clan, an absolute overlord of the Void God realm, held in the alien battlefield. No one knew why the Divine Sky Clan would hold a martial competition of this scale in the alien battlefield, but because the rewards of every martial competition were unprecedentedly generous, it also attracted the top-notch geniuses of various clans to take huge risks to participate. However, the Celestial Clan was known as the Void God Realm's #1 clan. Their overall strength far surpassed all the other clans, and almost every 100 Battles martial gathering's first place was taken by them. Ao. As the warship flew towards 100 Battles city at an extremely fast speed, a savage roar rang out under the hazy starry sky. A black dragon, hundreds of zhang long, covered in basin-sized scales, with a pair of coral horns and eyes that seemed to be able to see through the world, twisted its enormous body in the starry sky. It released a frightening dragon might as it flew towards the battleship Yi Chunfeng was on at an extremely fast speed. "Young Master Yi, there's a black dragon flying towards us. I'm afraid we can't avoid it." The expression of the Blood Skull, who was steering the warship, changed drastically when he saw the black dragon flying towards him. He immediately transmitted his voice to Yi Chunfeng. "Dragon!" Yi Chunfeng's heart stirred. He quickly left the universe realm and appeared outside. From afar, he looked at the black dragon that had turned into a black light and was rapidly approaching. After ascending to the heaven realm, this was the first time Yi Chunfeng had seen a divine beast dragon. As he personally felt the dragon might emitted by this black dragon, Yi Chunfeng couldn't help but sigh with emotion. A dragon was truly terrifying. "I'll use you to test my strength." Although the black dragon in front of him was extremely terrifying, Yi Chunfeng was not afraid at all. He flew up and appeared at the front of the warship. His hands quickly twisted, and a formidable power of space crazily surged forth. 100 layers spatial seals. Seeing the aggressive black dragon crash into his body, he used the 100 layers spatial seals that he had just comprehended. In an instant, 100 seals formed in front of him, resisting the black dragon's attack. Dragons were definitely the most terrifying existence among the demonic beasts. Moreover, this black dragon in front of him was a mid-rank ancestral beast. Its strength was even more unimaginable. However, Yi Chunfeng's 100 layers spatial seals had extremely strong defensive power. After taking on the black dragon's ferocious attack head-on, the 100 layers spatial seals did not break. It completely blocked the black dragon's ferocious attack. Not bad, not bad. This 100 layers spatial seals defense did not disappoint me. After taking on the black dragon's attack, the 100 layers spatial seals only broke through half of the seals. This made Yi Chunfeng reveal a satisfied smile. Roar, roar, roar! After being obstructed by Yi Chunfeng, this terrifying ancestral beast black dragon was enraged. It opened its terrifying bloody mouth and let out an earth-shaking dragon roar as it attacked Yi Chunfeng. Ka ka ka! After taking on the dragon's roar attack, a large number of spatial seals shattered. However, it was unable to break through Yi Chunfeng's 100 layers spatial seals. Heaven rank sword soul, chop. At this time, a soul light flashed in Yi Chenfeng's soul sea. The heaven rank sword soul flew out and evolved the great Tao of heaven and earth. It slashed down on the black dragon's massive body. This attack was comparable to a transcendent saint artifact. It directly shattered a large number of dragon scales and left a deep wound on the black dragon's body. In the next moment, Yi Chenfeng burned his powerful grand mist blood. His physical strength instantly exceeded 15 billion genes. Yi Chenfeng took a step forward and transformed into the Grand Mist Giant. He fought with the furious black dragon in the starry space with his bare hands. The black dragon's physical body was extremely terrifying. However, Yi Chenfeng's physical strength had been amplified by the Grand Mist blood. Not only was his physical strength not weaker than the black dragon's, it actually far surpassed it. Yi Chenfeng erupted with his most powerful strength and fought fiercely with the black dragon. The terrifying strength sent the black dragon flying again and again, shattering its scales. Large amounts of blood flowed out of the black dragon's massive body like a fountain. Just as Yi Chenfeng was heavily injuring the black dragon with his most powerful attack, an extremely fast battleship appeared. Following which, several figures flew out of the battleship and surrounded the black dragon that was riddled with wounds and roaring furiously. Big Brother Yi. Seeing the figures flying out of the battleship, Yi Chenfeng was stunned and revealed a trace of surprise. He did not expect to meet the battle tribe's princess, Zhan Shishir, in the alien battlefield. Shishir, why are you here? Yi Chenfeng erupted with his full strength and blasted the black dragon away with a punch. He looked at Zhan Shishir and asked, "We are here to chase this black dragon." Zhan Shishir pointed at the black dragon that Yi Chenfeng had severely injured. "What? Is this black dragon your prey?" asked Yi Chenfeng in a low voice. "Yes, we noticed this black dragon in the 100 Battles stellar region. We intended to capture it and make it my contract beast to protect me during the 100 Battles martial competition. However, we never expected that this black dragon's strength would be so formidable, and Ant-Ing was careless and allowed it to escape." Zhan Shishir nodded. "All right, since all of you noticed this black dragon first, then I'll give it to all of you." Yi Chenfeng had a rather good impression of Zhan Shishir. Moreover, the battle tribe had helped him in the past. Coupled with the fact that an ancestral beast at the level of the black dragon couldn't enter his eyes, he was extremely happy to give the black dragon to Zhan Shishir. "Thank you, Big Brother Yi." Zhan Shishir revealed a faint smile and spoke with delight. As she spoke, Shadow War God who'd surpassed the 6th star Downlord realm successively executed killer moves that shook the heavens and the earth, and he heavily injured the black dragon even more. Moreover, he used a chain to restrain the black dragon's enormous body, causing it to be unable to escape. Shishir seized this opportunity while the black dragon is heavily injured to quickly form a contract with it, said Shadow War God. "All right." Zhan Shishir nodded, and then she executed the battle tribe's secret technique to form a contract with the battle tribe within the black dragon's soul and successfully subdued this mid-rank ancestral beast, the black dragon. Chapter 1653. 100 Battle City, Page 1. Fantastic! I finally have a contracted beast. Zhan Shishir was excited like a child after she successfully subdued the black dragon, and she spoke with delight. The peak of the 2-star Downlord realm. Shadow War God gazed at Yi Chenfeng and couldn't conceal his surprise. "Young Master Yi, did you really heavily injure this black dragon?" "What else could it be?" Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile as he spoke. "Young Master Yi's speed of cultivation and combat strength are truly shocking. I presume that young Master Yi came to 100 Battles stellar region to participate in the 100 Battles martial competition, right?" Shadow War God restrained the shock in his heart as he spoke. "Yes, I did come for the 100 Battles martial competition." Yi Chenfeng nodded. "With the combat strength young Master Yi revealed now, you'll definitely be able to obtain a good ranking in the 100 Battles martial competition. Shadow War God said, I'll give this Realmbreaker pill to young master, and it'll assist young master in breaking through into the 3-star Downlord realm as soon as possible. Thank you. Yi Chunfeng had heard of the Realmbreaker pill, and he knew that it was a medicinal pill unique to the War Clan. Consuming it would allow one to break through in a short period of time. However, the Realmbreaker pill had extremely great restrictions, and it was only effective when consumed once. Consuming it after that would be completely ineffective. Come, let's head to 100 Battles City. The 100 Battles martial competition was about to begin, so Shadow War God and the others didn't waste any time. After Jean Chercheur placed the enormous black dragon into her personal abode, they controlled the warship and flew towards the core of 100 Battles stellar region, 100 Battles City. Because the War Clan's influence in the Heaven territory and even the Outer Realm was quite great, they didn't encounter any trouble while flying towards 100 Battles City, and they arrived outside 100 Battles City after flying for a few days. 100 Battles City is actually a complete starland. As he gazed at 100 Battles City from afar, Yi Chunfeng was deeply shocked. He'd never imagined that 100 Battles City was a starland that was extremely vast. OM. Just as the warship of Yi Chunfeng and the others landed outside 100 Battles City, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses suddenly sensed that the entire starry sky trembled for a moment. A saber light more than 300 meters long appeared out of thin air, bringing with it a terrifying destructive force as it cut through the starry sky and landed outside 100 Battles City. What a terrifying blade will! Signoring, who is he? Yi Chunfeng asked through voice projection as he looked at the tall and sturdy man in black robes descending in 100 Battles City with a startling saber intent. His long hair fluttered in the wind, giving off a wild and untamed feeling. This person is called He Guangdao, and he is the youngest son of the Black Demon Patriarch. His talent is extremely high, and after cultivating for less than 5,000 years, he broke through to the 6-star Demon Master realm. He is the peerless genius of the Black Demon clan's younger generation who is most likely to step into the 1-star Demon God realm. Shadow War God transmitted. Also, this person once pursued Chercheur, but was rejected by the clan leader, which led to the incident of the Black Demon clan snatching Chercheur. Chercheur, I didn't expect to see you here. He Guangdao, who appeared outside 100 Battles City, suddenly noticed Jean Chercheur, who was not far away. His unruly face revealed a smile as he slowly walked over with a heavy blade on his back. Let's go, Anting. Let's enter the city. Jean Chercheur looked at He Guangdao with disgust and pulled Shadow War God's arm, wanting to enter the city. Chercheur, we are considered old acquaintances. I am very sad that you treat me like this. He Guangdao used his sturdy body to block in front of Jean Chercheur and the others, as he said unyieldingly. He Guangdao, I am warning you. My father is in 100 Battles City. If you dare to pester me again, believe it or not, my father will behead you. Feeling He Guangdao's naked eyes constantly scanning her body as though he wanted to see through her clothes and see through her, Jean Chercheur felt uncomfortable and angrily warned him. Behead me? He Guangdao sneered and said, I didn't do anything to you, but clan leader War wants to behead me. Your War clan is a little too arrogant. You. Jean Chercheur was so angry that her face turned red, but He Guangdao's strength was too terrifying. Jean Chercheur and the others couldn't do anything to him, and could only sulk. And, while speaking, He Guangdao suddenly noticed Xia Wendy, who was even more beautiful than Jean Chercheur, and his eyes immediately lit up. This lady is... He Guangdao changed his target and looked at Xia Wendy, who was deeply attracted to him, with ill intentions. My wife. Yi Chunfeng lightly blocked in front of Xia Wendy and coldly replied. Who do you think you are? You have no right to speak here. He Guangdao's face darkened and said, Why haven't you scrammed yet? As soon as the word scrammed was said, a terrifying voice like thunder exploded in the void. The rolling sound waves blasted into Yi Qinfeng's ears and attacked his soul, wanting to shatter it. He Guangdao's roar was so powerful that several huge boulders behind Yi Qinfeng were instantly shattered. However, Yi Qinfeng's soul sea was guarded by the God-Eater brain, so he simply ignored the roar attack released by He Guangdao. In the next moment, a blinding white light flashed in Yi Qinfeng's soul sea. The heaven-class sword soul turned into a 3-meter-long divine sword, which dropped layers of Dao will, and slashed at He Guangdao at close range. Wave-breaking sacred saber break. He Guangdao's pupils shrank, and the heavy saber on his back let out a terrifying sound. A slash broke through the layers of air and slashed at the heaven-class sword soul, blocking the attack of the heaven-class sword soul. Heaven-class sword soul, I didn't expect you to not be a piece of trash. He Guangdao relied on his absolute strength to block the attack of the heaven-class sword soul. He stared fiercely at Yi Qinfeng and said with murderous intent, "Your strength isn't as powerful as you boast." Yi Qinfeng said without backing down, "It's been a long time since someone provoked me." The killing intent in He Guangdao's body erupted without holding back. "Today, I'll use you as a sacrifice to let some people in 100 Battles City know that I'm here." "Enough, He Guangdao. This isn't your Black Devil clan. If you provoke my Battle Clan's friends again, don't blame my Battle Clan for being impolite." Shadow Battle God's face darkened as she warned coldly. "If Blood Battle God and Slaughter Battle God were here, I might give your Battle Clan some face, but you're not qualified." He Guangdao said arrogantly and contemptuously. "Is that so? Then let me have a taste of your arrogance," Shadow Battle God said in a low voice. A terrifying battle intent was released, and she transformed into a female battle god. "Senior Shadow, leave him to me." Although He Guangdao's strength was terrifying, Yi Qinfeng's current trump card was enough to contend against him. Moreover, Yi Qinfeng also wanted to know how strong the top geniuses of the various clans in Heaven Domain were. Swish! Just as the battle was about to break out, an ear-piercing sword light cut through the void. The handsome Yu Yeming, who was wearing a long white robe, flew over on a flying sword. The next moment, the sword light under his feet shot out a peerless sword light. With a speed several times faster than the speed of light, it slashed towards He Guangdao. He Guangdao's face changed slightly when he was suddenly attacked by Yu Yeming. He immediately used the wave-breaking sacred blade to block. However, Yu Yeming's attack was far stronger than his. With a slash of his sword, Yu Yeming broke He Guangdao's attack and sent him flying. He flew back a few hundred meters before stabilizing his body. Blood flowed from his right palm and dripped onto the ground. "Before the 100 Battles martial competition starts, I don't want to kill anyone." Yu Yeming looked coldly at the gloomy He Guangdao and said, "Now you can get lost." "Okay." Although He Guangdao was furious, he didn't let his anger get to his head. He coldly glanced at Yi Qinfeng, Yu Yeming, and the others. Rationally, he didn't attack again. He clenched his teeth, suppressed the anger in his heart, and turned to leave. Third Sect Leader M. Chapter 1654. Many thanks. After not seeing him for a year, Yi Qinfeng sensed that Yu Yeming's strength had grown even stronger. Moreover, Yi Qinfeng sensed that Yu Yeming was only a thread away from breaking through into the 6-star Dao Lord realm. Once Yu Yeming broke through into the 6-star Dao Lord realm, his strength would be even more terrifying. "Brother Yi is too polite." Yu Yeming smiled and said, "Come, let's enter the city." "Alright." Yi Qinfeng nodded. Together with Yu Yeming and the rest of the battle tribe, they walked along an ancient road that had experienced the vicissitudes of time, slowly heading towards the 100 Battles City. "Brother Yi, I still have some matters to attend to. Let's meet again during the martial arts competition." Walking into the 100 Battles City, Yu Yeming bid farewell to Yi Qinfeng and the rest and left by himself. "Brother Yi, who is that person? How can his strength be so terrifying?" Witnessing the scene of Yu Yiming repelling Black Wild Blade with a single strike, Zhang Shishir and the rest were deeply shocked by his strength and were extremely curious about his identity. "He is a friend that I made in Meteor City," Yi Chenfeng slowly said. "The 100 Battle Martial Conference is about to begin. 100 Battle City has gathered the top experts of various races. It is extremely chaotic. Why don't young Master Yi follow us to the Battle Clan's mansion to rest?" Shadow War God invited. Shadow War God is too polite. However, Wen Dai and I still want to stroll around 100 Battle City, so we won't follow you to the War Clan mansion. After he'd witnessed Yu Yiming and Black Guangdao's strength, Yi Chenfeng urgently wanted to enter the Universe Realm and enter the Third Star Downlord Realm. Only by breaking through in a short period of time would he have any hope of obtaining good result. "Alright then. This is the map of my Battle Clan's residence. Young Master Yi Chenfeng, if young Lady Xia has nothing else to do, please come and find us." Shadow Battle God handed a jade slip to Yi Chenfeng and left with Zhang Shishir and the others. "Let's go. We'll stroll around this 100 Battle City, then find a place to rest and wait for the 100 Battle Martial competition to begin." After Shadow Warrior and the others left, Yi Chenfeng and Xia Wendy wandered around the most famous cities of the alien battlefield. They wanted to try their luck and see if they could meet spiritual fish and others. However, the 100 Battles City was simply too big. Trying to find someone here was no different from finding a needle in a haystack. Yi Chenfeng did not hold much hope. They hadn't walked far when a treasure pavilion that was over 100 m tall, constructed like a palace in the heavens, and had an enormous gem inlaid on top of it while emitting a large amount of Dao insight glows appeared before their eyes. "Let's go and take a look at the treasure building." The 100 Battles Martial competition was not going to be easy. Yi Chenfeng had to be fully prepared. He had to purchase more top-grade True Spirit Saint swords to increase the power of the Universe Sword Array. So many experts. Walking into the treasure pavilion, Yi Chenfeng and Huang Xiaolong noticed that there were many experts gathered in the treasure pavilion. Among them were Dao Masters, Devil Masters, and Heavenly Masters that were rarely seen in the Heaven region. They could be seen everywhere in the treasure pavilion. The 100 Battles competition is indeed the highest level competition in the alien battlefield. It has attracted so many experts. Yi Chenfeng muttered to himself. He was worried about Xia Wendy's safety. Although her talent was extraordinary, her cultivation level was too low. If she encountered a powerful enemy, even if she had a portable cave, it would be difficult for her to protect herself. Yi Chenfeng slowly walked in front of a white-haired old woman and asked in a low voice, "Does your esteemed pavilion have any top-grade True Spirit Saint swords and treasures that can sense each other in the 100 Battles Martial competition?" Yi Chenfeng had learned from Shadow War God that the 100 Battles Martial competition was a competition where all the participating disciples were randomly teleported into a mysterious space. They would fight and kill each other, and the final ranking would be based on the number of enemies they killed. "How many top-grade True Spirit Saint swords do you want to buy?" the white-haired old woman asked in a somewhat hoarse voice. "The more the better," Yi Chenfeng said in a rich and overbearing manner. "What a big tone. Top-grade True Spirit Saint swords cost 1 million top-grade heaven crystals each. How many do you want to buy?" the white-haired old woman asked. 1 million top-grade heaven crystals. Yi Chenfeng didn't expect top-grade True Spirit Saint swords to be so expensive. He frowned slightly and said, "If I use a low-grade heaven-piercing Saint pill to exchange, how many can I exchange for?" Yi Chenfeng had killed many powerful Supreme Elders, but he only had 3 million top-grade heaven crystals on him. At most, he could only buy 3 top-grade True Spirit Saint swords. He had no choice but to think of bartering. "Take out your low-grade heaven-piercing Saint pill and let me see. If the quality is good, I'll give you 30 top-grade True Spirit Saint swords." The value of a low-grade heaven-piercing Saint pill was extremely high. There were only a few in the entire treasure pavilion. Hearing that Yi Chunfeng was willing to exchange for a low-grade heaven-piercing St. Pill, the white-haired old woman revealed a look of surprise and whispered. Yi Chunfeng's words also attracted the attention of many experts in the treasure pavilion. They walked over to watch. "All right." Yi Chunfeng nodded and took out a low-grade heaven-piercing St. Pill in front of everyone. When he undid the seal of the low-grade heaven-piercing St. Pill, a thick medicinal fragrance filled the air, causing people to feel like they were on cloud nine with just a whiff. Not bad, the quality of this low-grade heaven-piercing St. Pill is not bad. 30 top-grade true spirit saint swords for it. The white-haired old woman carefully inspected it and revealed a satisfied smile. 50 top-grade true spirit saint swords. Yi Chunfeng demanded an exorbitant price. "Junior, you want to extort me?" The white-haired old woman revealed a trace of annoyance. "Senior, I think you should be very clear about the value of a low-grade heaven-piercing Saint Pill. 30 top-grade true spirit saint swords are a bit low." Yi Chunfeng's expression did not change as he said indifferently when he met the white-haired old woman's angry gaze. 40 top-grade true spirit saint swords, no more. The white-haired old woman pondered for a moment, gritted her teeth and said, "Good deal." Yi Chunfeng nodded and completed the transaction with the white-haired old woman, obtaining 40 top-grade true spirit saint swords that were extremely important to him. "That's right, senior. I also want to buy a treasure that can allow me to sense each other during the 100 battles martial competition. Does your pavilion have it?" Yi Chunfeng continued to ask. "You're too late. The entire 100 battles city's consonants jade pendants have already been sold out." The white-haired old woman shook her head. "I have a consonants jade pendant. Do you want it?" Suddenly, a cold voice entered Yi Chunfeng's ears. It was a skinny man wearing a black robe embroidered with a ferocious skull. His strength had reached the realm of a 4-star ghost lord. His hot gaze swept over Xia Wendy, who was even more beautiful than a fairy, and he slowly spoke. "What do you want?" Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly, looking at the black-robed man with ill intentions, and said in a low voice, "My request is very simple. 1 low-grade heaven-piercing Saint Pill in exchange for 2 consonants jade pendants." The black-robed man grinned, intentionally blackmailing Yi Chunfeng. "Not exchanging." Yi Chunfeng didn't even think about it and directly refused. "Boy, you have to think clearly. Just how big is the 100 battles martial competition? Without the consonants jade pendants, it would be impossible for the two of you to meet during the 100 battles martial competition. The girl beside you is so beautiful that any man would be moved by her. Do you want her to meet an accident in the 100 battles martial competition? So, exchanging a low-grade heaven-piercing Saint Pill for 2 consonants jade pendants is not a loss." The black-robed man spoke with an expression as if he was certain he had Yi Chunfeng under his control. "It seems that you think you have us." Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank, a cold light shooting out from his eyes. "I'm just reminding you out of kindness. Such a beautiful girl, if she were to be defiled in the 100 battles martial competition, wouldn't that be too unfortunate?" The black-robed man smiled and said, "How about this? If you really don't cherish her, then why don't you give her to me, and you can raise any conditions you want in exchange. It's fine if you want low-grade heaven-piercing Saint Pills, but do you dare to bet on the combat arena with me? If you win, then I'll give you the low-grade heaven-piercing Saint Pill, and if I lose, then I'll give you the consonants jade pendants." Yi Chunfeng hadn't expected that the black-robed man would dare to target Xia Wendy, and he was truly infuriated as he spoke coldly. During the period when the 100 battles martial competition was about to begin, private battles were strictly prohibited in 100 Battles City, and violators of the rules would be stripped of their qualifications to participate in the competition. If someone really had enmity that couldn't be resolved, then they could fight in public on the combat arena to resolve the dispute. "Are you sure you want to challenge me?" The smile on the black-robed man's face grew wider. As far as he was concerned, Yi Chunfeng was only a 2-star Tao Lord, while he was a peak 4-star Ghost Lord, so challenging Yi Chunfeng was no different than courting death. You just have to answer if you dare or not. If you don't dare, then fuck off as far as you can and stop being an eyesore here. Yi Chunfeng intentionally infuriated him. Alright, as you wish, I'll agree. The black-robed man revealed a trace of a savage expression as he gazed at Xia Wendy's beautiful and charming face and said, "Little beauty, once I kill him, then follow me. I guarantee that you'll be comfortable and you won't be willing to leave me. It's just a dead person, there's no need to get angry. I'll wait for you at the combat arena. I hope you won't be terrified to the point of not daring to come." Yi Chunfeng lightly grabbed Xia Wendy's icy-cold little hand and persuaded her in a light voice before restraining the flames of rage in her heart, and then they left the treasure pavilion and headed towards the combat arena that was the closest to them. On the other hand, the battle between Yi Chunfeng and the black-robed man had drawn the interest of many people, and it caused many people to come to the combat arena to watch the battle. Chapter 1655. I don't know if you're really an idiot or just pretending to be one. You actually dared to challenge me with your strength at the 2-star Daolord realm? It looks to me like you're tired of living. The black-robed man revealed a trace of a savage smile, and he gazed at Yi Chunfeng as if he was looking at a dead person. It was like Yi Chunfeng had already become a lifeless corpse before his eyes. I notice that you're extraordinarily talkative. Could it be that you intend to kill me with your mouth? Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of an icy-cold smile as he spoke with a composed expression. Alright. I hope you won't beg for mercy later. As he spoke, dense ghastly energy erupted from the black-robed man's body, and then a large amount of gray light shot out from his body and dyed the entire combat arena dark gray. The Ghost Fiend technique, a top-grade true saint technique of the Ghost race. Looks like this black-robed man's status in the Ghost race isn't low. The Ghost Fiend technique is a divine ability of the Ghost race that's never passed down to outsiders. Only the direct descendants of the patriarch of the Ghost race possess the qualifications to cultivate this divine ability. Looks like he's the son or nephew of the patriarch of the Ghost race. As they gazed at the divine ability executed by the black-robed man, many people with discerning gazes had discerned the origins of this divine ability, and they felt that Yi Chunfeng was dead for sure. Only Xia Wendy firmly believed that Yi Chunfeng wouldn't lose. Not to mention that the black-robed man was a peak 4th-star Ghost Lord, Yi Chunfeng would still be able to crush him even if he'd attained the 6-star Ghost Lord realm. "Kid, allow me to send you to hell." As he spoke, the black-robed man shouted explosively while the baleful ghastly energy that effused out from his body suddenly condensed into numerous terrifying ghastly slashes that tore through the air and slashed down towards Yi Chunfeng. "Humph. You." Yi Chunfeng grunted coldly as he lightly flicked his right hand before him. In an instant, an enormous chasm appeared in the space before him, and it resisted the black-robed man's Ghost Fiend technique. The third level of the spatial laws, spatial isolation. As they watched the space before Yi Chunfeng split apart, the spectators below the combat arena revealed shocked expressions. The laws of space and the laws of time were the two most mysterious and powerful laws in the universe. Very few people could master these two laws. Seeing Yi Chunfeng use the laws of space, quite a few people began to guess his identity. As for the two white-haired old men protecting the black-robed man, their faces darkened as a trace of unease appeared in their hearts. Dimensional slash. After blocking off the black-robed man's attack, Yi Chunfeng once again used the law of space to split open the space above his head, creating an extremely powerful dimensional decapitator that ruthlessly slashed at the black-robed man. Demon Headblade. The black-robed man's expression changed slightly. He instantly summoned the evil ghost Headblade, a semi-transcending Heaven Saint artifact, and used his full strength to meet the dimensional slash head-on. However, the power of the dimensional slash was extremely terrifying. Its attacking power was far beyond that of a half-transcending heaven-sent weapon. Facing the attack of the dimensional slash head-on, the black-robed man's attack was shattered once again. Meanwhile, he was chopped down to the ground by the dimensional slash and heavily smashed onto the martial arena, creating a huge sound. Weak. You're really too weak. Yi Chunfeng revealed a cold smile as he looked at the black-robed man who was bleeding from the corner of his mouth. He was in a rather sorry state. I'll kill you. The black-robed man was completely enraged. He rapidly ignited his powerful bloodline and the power of his Dao core, rapidly increasing his strength. He activated the attack of the evil ghost head blade and slashed at Yi Chunfeng with his full strength. Break. Yi Chunfeng did not dodge the heavy blade slashes. He took a step forward and the power of the 5 major acupoints in his body erupted. Over 5 billion pounds of strength and surging Dao intent poured into his fists. He struck out with his fists, causing the space to tremble as he constantly shattered the blade slashes that were slashing at him. Oh my God! Where did this person come from? How can his battle prowess be so terrifying? Witnessing Yi Chunfeng shattering the blade slashes with his fists, the onlookers were deeply shocked by his strength. True spirit blood bead fuse. Yi Chunfeng's battle prowess was beyond imagination. The black-robed man had no choice but to use his greatest trump card. He fused with a blood bead that was at the level of a supreme true spirit saint treasure. Borrowing the power of this blood bead, he forcefully raised his strength to the level of a 5-star ghost lord. His strength has increased. I didn't think he would have such a trump card. It looks like the situation will be reversed. That's not necessarily true. That human hasn't used any trump cards, but that ghost race man has basically used all his trump cards. I think the final victor will be that human. As he spoke, the black-robed man who had risen to the level of a 5-star ghost lord roared. He raised the power of the ghost fiend art to the limit and launched his most ferocious attack at Yi Chunfeng, wanting to kill him in one fell swoop. Heaven-grade sword soul break. Seeing that the black-robed man's attack was about to engulf Yi Chunfeng, the heaven-grade sword soul flew out of Yi Chunfeng's sea of soul and slashed apart the tide of attacks, breaking his killing move. Heaven-grade sword soul. Heavens! Not only did he cultivate a sword soul, he even cultivated it to the heaven grade. Where did this person come from? Why have I never seen him before? Perhaps he came from the Void God world. Interesting. I didn't expect so many interesting people to come to this 100 Battles Martial Conference. Below the stage stood a white-robed man who was as tall and straight as a pine tree. He had an extraordinary bearing, and his strength had reached the peak of a 6-star heaven lord. When he saw Yi Chunfeng summon his heaven-grade sword soul, his deep eyes shot out thousands of rays of light, revealing a trace of battle intent. It wasn't just this white-robed man who had developed a strong interest in Yi Chunfeng. There was also a burly man with 1 foot in the 1-star demon emperor realm. He wore a beast hide, his long hair casually draped over his shoulders, and his eyes were deep purple. He had 1 foot in the 1-star demon emperor realm, and he also developed a strong interest in Yi Chunfeng. After forcefully breaking through the black-robed man's attack, Yi Chunfeng used the sword steps and took a step forward, appearing near the black-robed man who had turned pale with fright. With a punch, layers of air immediately exploded. The terrifying fist light carried an unparalleled destructive power as it bombarded the black-robed man, forcing him to instinctively dodge into the air. Suddenly, he felt a terrifying pressure above his head. Yi Chunfeng had predicted the space he would dodge in advance, and had already appeared above his head, stomping down on him with the tyrannical kick. With one stomp, heaven and earth were suppressed, and all living things wailed. The tyrannical kick was extremely heavy, and it directly broke through the black-robed man's body defense. It stomped on his body and directly sent him into the air. The sound of bones breaking resounded in his body. Third young master. Seeing that the black-robed man was in danger, The two white-haired old men who were responsible for his safety were instantly enraged. Two terrifying auras burst out from their bodies. What? You want to break the rules of the 100 Battles City? Seeing the two white-haired old men who were unable to restrain their anger, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile as he loudly reprimanded. Although the ghost race was powerful, they didn't dare to provoke the 100 Battles City. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's warning, the two white-haired old men hesitated. This young master, this time, it is the third young master's fault. We hope that sire can be lenient and spare the third young master. Our ghost race is willing to gift sire a pair of Lingxi jade pendants for free. The two white-haired old men gritted their teeth and said sullenly, "No need to go through so much trouble. Kill him, and everything on him will be mine." Yi Chunfeng was unmoved. He stomped a second time towards the black-robed man. The tyrannical kick that was filled with the power of 10 billion Jin once again stomped on the black-robed man's body. The terrifying power almost crushed his body. "Sire, could it be that you want to become enemies with our ghost race? This is not a wise choice." The two white-haired old men saw that the black-robed man's life was hanging by a thread, and they immediately became anxious and loudly shouted, "I will never show mercy to my enemies. You can only blame yourselves for provoking me." Finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng stomped a third time and directly broke through the black-robed man's defense. He ruthlessly stomped on his mangled body and directly crushed him. P.S. Requesting red envelopes. Chapter 1656. Kill two more. Page 1/1. Third young master. The two white-haired old men were instantly anxious when they witnessed the scene of Yi Chunfeng stomping the black-robed man into pieces. They disregarded everything and charged onto the arena that was covered in blood with the intention of killing Yi Chunfeng and taking revenge for the black-robed man. "What? Both of you intend to challenge me on the arena as well?" As he gazed at the two white-haired old men whose eyes burned with flames of rage and were seething with rage, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and spoke fearlessly. "Junior, do you dare to accept our challenge?" The two white-haired old men spoke in a ghastly tone. "Why wouldn't a mob like you dare?" Even though the two white-haired old men had attained the 5th-star Ghost Lord realm, Yi Chunfeng possessed too many trump cards, and he could kill ordinary 5th-star Ghost Lords like he was slaughtering chickens. All right, die with the third young master." The two white-haired old men were deeply afraid that Yi Chunfeng would go back on his word, so they summoned 2 top-grade True Saint swords and attacked Yi Chunfeng from both sides with the intention of joining forces and killing him. "Alas, you don't even have a quasi-transcendent saint artifact. Both of you are really shabby." Yi Chunfeng sighed softly. Over 200 supreme-grade True Spirit Saint swords flew out of his body and quickly formed an extremely powerful Cosmos sword formation in front of him, easily blocking the attacks of the two. "What? 210 top-grade True Saint swords? Exactly where did this fellow come from? His resources and reserves are actually so deep." Top-grade True Saint swords were extremely valuable, and it was already extraordinary for an ordinary person to possess 2 of them. However, Yi Chunfeng had instantly summoned 210 of them, and it instantly shocked everyone in the surroundings and caused them to feel disbelief. Universe Sword Rain. After resisting their attacks, Yi Chunfeng fused the Godblood Pearl and Chaos Pearl to forcefully improve his strength to the 4th-star Downlord realm, and then he fused his heaven-rank Sword Soul into the Universe Sword Formation to lead the amplification of the Sword Formation's might. It transformed into a boundless rain of swords that attacked the two white-haired old men. Ghost Dragon appear. The might of the Cosmos Sword Formation was too ferocious. It instantly suppressed the white-haired old man and his companion. In order to turn the situation around, they defended with all their might while summoning 2 ferocious ghost dragons. They roared and attacked Yi Chunfeng. The 2 ghostly dragons attacked. Yi Chunfeng's strength reached its peak in an instant. The power of the undead spirit pearl poured into his fists. He threw out 2 consecutive punches at the ghostly dragons. Ao ao. The 2 spectral dragons immediately howled in pain when they were struck by Yi Chunfeng's fist that was filled with the force of death. Cracks appeared on their hideous heads, and their colossal bodies were knocked back. Heaven and Earth Star Seal. Following that, Yi Chunfeng's hands quickly twisted. Surging Tao power and strength merged together, turning into 2 square seals that gave birth to the stars of heaven and earth. They fiercely bombarded the huge bodies of the 2 ghost dragons. The terrifying destructive power directly shattered the bodies of the ghost dragons, shattering them. Cosmos Strike. After forcefully shattering the 2 ghostly dragons, Yi Chunfeng swept across the sky. He controlled more than 200 cosmos swords and turned them into 2 giant swords. Tao will fell like a heavenly waterfall as they ruthlessly slashed at the 2 white-haired old men. Dodge. Sensing the terror of the 2 halves of the cosmos sword, the 2 white-haired old men didn't dare to take it head-on. They instinctively dodged to the side. Although they relied on their speed to dodge the cosmos strike, the cosmos power that permeated the void still injured them. They even lost control of their bodies. Swish. A sword light flashed under Yi Chunfeng's feet as he appeared beside one of the white-haired old men like a bolt of lightning. Die. Yi Chunfeng struck out with his palm. Purple lightning appeared in the center of his palm. The terrifying purple lightning struck out and ruthlessly struck at the white-haired old man. Sensing the terror of the peak, the white-haired old man constantly used defensive trump cards to defend himself. However, the purple lightning's instantaneous attack was comparable to a low-grade transcendent sacred artifact. A 5-star ghost lord like the white-haired old man couldn't withstand it at all. As the trump cards he summoned shattered one by one, the purple lightning smashed into his body like a hot knife through butter. It directly shattered half of his body, causing him to fall limply to the ground. Big brother! Seeing that his companion was in danger, the other white-haired old man let out a sorrowful roar. He attacked Yi Chunfeng with all his might, wanting to save his big brother. No one can save him. Yi Chunfeng was even faster. He instantly appeared beside the dying white-haired old man who was lying in a pool of blood. He stomped on the old man's head and crushed his soul, killing him on the spot. I'll kill you. Seeing Yi Chunfeng stomp on his big brother's head and kill him, the remaining white-haired old man let out a sorrowful cry. He burned his Tao core and all the blood in his body at all costs as he launched a ferocious attack at Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng for revenge. Sword Tornado Trap. With a thought from Yi Chunfeng, over 200 Qiankuan swords spun rapidly, forming a terrifying sword tornado. It directly trapped the white-haired old man inside and wildly destroyed his body. Ghost Art. Faced with the attack of the sword tornado, the white-haired old man increased the speed of the ghost art to the limit. He attacked with all his might, forcibly tearing a crack in the powerful sword tornado. You want to come out? Not so easy. Yi Chunfeng sneered and threw a punch at him. The fist aura that was filled with more than 5 billion kilograms of power and will of the Wei blasted towards him. The power that erupted in an instant forced him back into the sword tornado. No! Under the attack of the Qiankuan sword formation, the white-haired old man's injuries worsened. The sharp Qiankuan swords constantly cut into his body, cutting off his vitality. Gradually, the white-haired old man's attacks became weaker and weaker. He no longer had the strength to tear through the Qiankuan sword formation. Human brat, I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. With no vitality left, the white-haired old man let out a sorrowful and furious roar. He didn't care about the price he had to pay, detonating the source of his strength and Tao core to launch the most fatal attack at Yi Chunfeng. Boom! A pillar of energy shot into the sky, exploding the sword tornado that was swallowing him, and it blasted towards Yi Chunfeng with extreme speed. But Yi Chunfeng reacted extremely quickly. He swiftly retreated to the edge of the combat arena and relied on his powerful body to resist the fatal attack of the white-haired old man's self-detonating Dao core. Withdraw. When the power of the self-detonating Dao core gradually dissipated, Yi Chunfeng put away the remains of the black-robed man and the other two with a thought. Under the gazes of reverence, he jumped off the combat arena and prepared to leave with Xia Wendy. You really have guts. You actually dared to kill the 3 young masters and 2 elders of the ghost race in public. Aren't you afraid of the revenge of the ghost race? Suddenly, a graceful figure blocked in front of Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy and spoke with a clear voice. It's you. Yi Chunfeng was taken aback. He had not expected to see the extraordinary woman in a colorful dress from the ancestral street. I never show mercy to my enemies, no matter who they are. You talk big. The tall woman in a white dress with an elegant temperament and indescribable beauty took the initiative to invite him. Do you have time? Let's find a place to sit. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and followed her out of the noisy martial arena. They arrived at a tea house with an elegant environment. It was located beside a lake, and the grass was blooming with beautiful flowers. Third Sect Master's website. Chapter 1657. The environment here is pretty good. Looks like Miss is very familiar with this 100 Battles city. Looking at the beautiful scenery around him, Yi Chunfeng suddenly felt his heart calm down and revealed a faint smile. There are many good places to enjoy the scenery and drink tea in 100 Battles city, but I like this lakeside building even more. The girl washed the tea very skillfully and brewed 2 cups of spirit tea that emitted a delicate fragrance for Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy. She said, "The 2 of you have a taste. How is this heavenly peak before rain tea?" Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded, took out the teacup and lightly tasted it. Immediately, Yi Chunfeng felt that the spirit tea in his mouth turned into strands of pure heavenly spirit energy, flowing down his throat and into his body. His entire body was incomparably comfortable. Good tea, really good tea. Yi Chunfeng could not help but take a second sip and praised, "This kind of spirit tea is indeed rare in the world. Only this lakeside building has heavenly peak before rain tea. You can't drink it anywhere else." The girl revealed a trace of a charming smile and said, "If the 2 of you like it, drink more." "Oh right, I still don't know Mrs. Great name." Yi Chunfeng put down the teacup and said, "Today's kindness, I will remember it in my heart. I'm called Ling Yusin." Ling Yusin pursed her lips and took a small sip of heavenly peak before rain tea. She asked knowingly, "But I don't know what young master means by this? Miss invited us here to drink tea. Could it be that it wasn't to use your identity to intimidate the ghost race and make them have some misgivings and not easily take revenge on Xia Wendy and me?" Yi Chunfeng smiled and pointed out. "To tell the truth, I did have this goal in the beginning to repay your kindness to me." Ling Yusin nodded and said, "But now I feel that this is somewhat superfluous. You're not afraid of the ghost race's revenge at all. Miss thinks too highly of me. With just the 2 of us, we can't contend with an entire race." Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, "The ghost race isn't a big race. They're just a small race that relies on the demon race. With young master's current combat strength, it won't be easy for the ghost race to take revenge on you." Ling Yusin personally poured tea for Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy. "However, the 2 of you still have to be careful of one person." "Who is it?" Yi Chunfeng took a big gulp of Tianfeng tea before the rain and asked. "Young Master Gui Shao Di of the Ghost Clan." Ling Yusin slowly said, "This Gui Xiaofeng is known as a supreme genius of the ghost race. He cultivated for less than 3,000 years and reached the peak of 6-star Ghost Lord. Rumor has it that he is 1 step away from becoming a 1-star ghost god. And in order for the ghost race to obtain a good result in the 100 Battles Martial Assembly, they will definitely give him the ghost race's greatest treasure. If you meet young Master Gui Shao Di, be careful." "Thank you for your reminder, Mississippi. We will be careful." Yi Chenfeng smiled and slowly said, Yusin, I heard from Elder Yun that you're here. While they were talking, a clear voice suddenly came from outside the wooden house. A soft and white hand pushed open the door and walked in with a refreshing fragrance. Sister Bing, you're back. Ling Yusin slowly stood up and said, Let me introduce you. These two are my benefactors. Sister Bing is the owner of this small lakeside house. I don't dare to call myself a benefactor, we're just taking what we need. Yi Chenfeng said in a neither haughty nor humble manner, Hello, Sister Bing. I was wondering why Yusin brought an outsider to my place. So you are the one who gave her the Chaos Void Lotus Petal to cure her hidden illness. She was wearing a tight white skirt. Her sexy body was curvaceous, and her perfectly round legs extended out of the skirt. Her entire body was emitting a fatal temptation, but her cultivation was very vague. Right, do you have any more Chaos Void Lotus Petal? I want to ask for one from you. This, the Chaos Void Lotus Petal, was extremely precious. Yi Chenfeng only had 2 left in his possession, and he wasn't willing to give them away so easily. I won't take your Chaos Void Lotus Petal so easily. I'll give you something of equivalent value in exchange. Bing Yingjun said, Perhaps I can help this miss who possesses the natural Dao physique break through into the 1-star Dao Lord realm before the 100 battles martial competition. Really? Yi Chenfeng's eyes lit up and revealed dense pleasant surprise. Yi Chenfeng was rather worried about letting Xia Wendy participate in the 100 battles martial competition. After all, her cultivation was too low, and it would be difficult for her to protect herself if she encountered the top geniuses of the various clans in the Heaven territory. However, it would be different if she was able to break through into the 1-star Dao Lord realm. Since Sister Bing has spoken, then she'll definitely be able to accomplish it. Ling Yusin continued from the side. Alright, then I'll leave Wendy to you, Sister Bing. Yi Chenfeng wasn't stingy. He withdrew a Chaos Void Lotus Petal that was sealed within an ice box and gave it to the extremely charming Bing Yingjun so that she could help Xia Wendy improve her cultivation in a short period of time. If I'm not wrong, then this Chaos Void Lotus Petal is over 10 million years old, right? Bing Yingjun removed the seal and lightly sniffed it with her white and tender nose. Sister Bing really is capable. Yi Chenfeng praised, and he exclaimed endlessly with admiration towards the enigmatic Bing Yingjun's discerning ability. Right, Sister Bing, do you know anything about the 100 battles martial competition this time? I know a little. Bing Yingjun nodded. Sister Bing, do you know how many experts who've surpassed the God Realm are participating in the 100 battles martial competition this time? Yi Chenfeng really wanted to know how many competitors he had and exactly how strong they were. At least 5. Bing Yingjun stretched out 5 slender fingers as she spoke. 5 people. Yi Chenfeng slightly frowned and said, I don't know which 5 people there are. Yusin is one. There's also Huang Wutian from the Imperial Sky Clan, Tian Qinyun from the Divine Sky Clan, and the other 2 are Emoichen from the Demon Clan and Gu Hong from the Ancient Clan. They're all 1-star God Realm experts, Bing Yingjun said as she drank the heavenly peak tea. Apart from the 5 of them, there's another person with terrifying strength. That's Yu Yeming. He definitely has the strength to challenge Dao Realm experts. Ling Yusin continued. Miss Yusin, are you all from the Void God world? Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath as he felt an enormous pressure. No, apart from me, they're all from the Void God world. However, I'm also somewhat related to the Void God world. Ling Yusin shook her head and said vaguely. Then Miss Yusin, who do you think has the highest chance of becoming champion among the 6 of you? Yi Chenfeng asked. Naturally, it's Tian Qinyun from the Divine Sky Clan. His strength is extremely terrifying. Huang Wutian from the Imperial Sky Clan also has a chance of becoming champion. As for Emoichen and Gu Hong, their strength can't be underestimated as well. They both possess heaven-defying trump cards. I'm not a match for the 4 of them. Ling Yusen spoke in detail. Thank you for telling me. Yi Chunfeng understood his main opponents and felt boundless pressure. There's still some time before the 100 battles competition begins. All of you can rest in the small building by the lake during this period of time. No one will dare to cause trouble for you here. I'll definitely help her break through to the 1-star Dao Lord realm before the 100 battles competition begins. Bing Ingjun said. Then I'll leave everything to you, Sister Bing. Yi Chunfeng said gratefully, right, Sister Bing? I wonder if you can help me with something. I want to use this heaven-rank blood coral to exchange for some ancestral beast blood essence. How many heaven-rank Dao diagrams does this blood coral contain? Bing Ingjuan's eyes lit up when she sensed the formidable Dao insight contained within the heaven-rank blood coral, and she asked. 18 heaven-rank Dao insights. Yi Chunfeng said. Alright, my small building by the lake will accept this blood coral. At that time, I'll use all my connections to help you obtain more ancestral beast blood essence. Bing Yingjun promised. Thank you, Sister Bing. Chapter 1658. Alright, there isn't much time left before the 100 battles martial competition. Come with me, I'll take you to cultivate. Bing Luo stood up slowly and led Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy out of the wooden house that emanated a faint fragrance of tea. After she helped Yi Chunfeng settle down, she brought Xia Wendy to a mysterious space to cultivate. 5 God-rank experts and Yu Yiming. It's practically impossible for me to seize the first position. The gap in strength between Lord-rank experts and God-rank experts was too huge. Not to mention that Yi Chunfeng wasn't even a 3-star Dao Lord right now, it was impossible for him to defeat God-rank experts even if he broke through. Alas, my starting point is still too low when compared to those geniuses in the Void God dimension. Yi Chunfeng sighed lightly, and then he returned to the world mirror and checked the spoils he obtained from killing the 3 ghost lords. 10 top-grade true saint swords. That's not a small gain as well. Yi Chunfeng had unexpectedly noticed 10 top-grade true saint swords amongst their belongings. Besides that, Yi Chunfeng had obtained precious true saint blood pearls, the quasi-extraordinary saint artifact, the ghost head saber, the rhino jade pendant, and various other treasures. No matter what, I've only broken through to the 3rd-star Dao Lord realm. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and discarded all distracting thoughts. After that, he withdrew the realm break pill that War God Shadow had given him, raised his head, and swallowed it. He intended to rely on the formidable medicinal strength of the realm break pill to charge into the 3rd-star Dao Lord realm with all his might. While Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy were charging into their realms of cultivation at the lakeside, a mighty uproar had arisen in the Ghost Clan's estate. Have you found out the origins of that human kid who killed my son? Where is he hiding now? A middle-aged man in a black skull robe and white hair shattered the tea table by his side with a single palm strike, and he roared with unrestrained rage. Patriarch, we weren't able to find out the origins of that human kid, but we noticed where he's hiding. A spy from the Ghost Clan spoke with terror. Tell me where that kid is hiding. I'll capture him with my own hands, pull out his tendons, and skin him alive. The patriarch of the Ghost Clan, Gui Yu, suddenly stood up and spoke with killing intent. Those 2 human experts are hiding in the small lakeside building. The ghoul informant said. The lakeside. You use a lakeside building of Heavenly Palace's branch in 100 Battle City. Use there, said the spy. Could it be that the one who killed Xiao Feng is from Defying Heaven Palace? Gui Yu's face darkened, revealing a hint of fear. Although the Ghost Clan was powerful, there was still a big gap between their overall strength and the Nition Palace. Moreover, there were rumors that the Nition Palace was a branch of the Kunlun Holy Land in the Void God realm. They had an unclear relationship with the Kunlun Holy Land, so the Ghost Clan could not afford to offend them. Father, leave this matter to me. Gui Shouty, who'd been drinking tea in silence, and had an indifferent expression, put down the teacup in his hand and said, I'll kill them with my own hands once the 100 battles competition begins, and take revenge for third brother. Alright, then I'll leave it all to you. I don't want them to leave the 100 battles sacred territory alive. Guiyu nodded and spoke viciously. As the date of the 100 battles competition grew closer and closer, a large number of geniuses from the various clans had gathered in the boundlessly vast 100 battles city, and they were waiting for the competition to begin. The reason the 100 battles competition was so attractive was precisely because everyone who participated in it would be rewarded regardless of their result. Moreover, if one was able to enter the top 100, then the rewards one would obtain would be even more generous, and one would be able to directly fuse with the energy of the 100 battles sacred territory and improve one's strength. I've broken through to the 3rd star Downlord realm. After around 3 days, Yi Chunfeng had completely refined the formidable medicinal strength of the Realmbreaker pill, and he broke through the bottleneck of his cultivation in one go. He broke through to the 3rd star Downlord realm, and his combat strength improved greatly. Phew! I've finally broken through. Not long after Yi Chunfeng broke through, Ling Yusin found Yi Chunfeng and passed the universe ring that Bing Luo had given her to Yi Chunfeng. So much ancestral beast blood essence. Yi Chunfeng's soul seeped into the universe ring, and he noticed that there were over 30 extremely precious drops of ancestral beast blood essence floating within the ring. Over 10 of them were dark red in color, and it was obvious that they were of a rather high grade. Spaciator Bug, all of this blood essence is for you. Try to break through to the ancestral beast realm as soon as possible. Yi Chunfeng wasn't stingy and gave all of the ancestral beast blood essence to the Spaciator Bug so that it could devour the blood essence and complete its most important transformation. There's not much time left before the 100 battles competition begins. It's not suitable for me to continue breaking through in my current state. Why don't I try to break through to the 2nd level of the battle body realm? Yi Chunfeng was afraid that continuous breakthroughs would cause his cultivation to become unstable, so he intended to temper himself through battle before continuing to break through and charge into the 4-star Downlord realm. During these days of waiting, Yi Chunfeng withdrew the adamantium divine tree that he'd obtained from killing the Yiksha, and then he spat out true saint flames to burn the branches of the adamantium divine tree and refine them into the purest form of energy that fused into his body to temper his body and charge into the 2nd level of the battle body realm. After an unknown period of time, a bell that resounded through the horizon suddenly resounded in the sky above the boundlessly vast 100 battles city, and it instantly suffused every single corner of the city and awakened numerous geniuses that were cultivating in seclusion. Is the 100 battles competition about to begin? Yi Chunfeng, who'd refined a 10th of the adamantium divine tree and was fully focused on tempering his body, woke up from his cultivation, and then he left the universe realm with a command of his will and appeared outside. Meanwhile, Xia Wendy, who'd been cultivating in the secret realm for over 10 days, had returned. Yi Chunfeng revealed a pleasantly surprised expression when he saw Xia Wendy, because he noticed that Xia Wendy had really broken through to the 1-star Downlord realm in such a short period of time. Big Sister Bing, thank you. Yi Chunfeng spoke with heartfelt gratitude. He knew that Xia Wendy had definitely exhausted many divine treasures since she was able to break through into the 1-star Downlord realm in such a short period of time. The main reason Wendy was able to break through into the 1-star Downlord realm so quickly is that she possesses the natural Dao physique. Bing Luster revealed a charming smile and said, "All right, both of you prepare yourselves and take your participation tokens. At that time, the tokens will naturally teleport both of you to the 100 battles sacred domain to experience the preliminary round that lasts for 10 years. 10 years. Merely the preliminary round of the 100 battles competition requires 10 years. Xia Wendy spoke with slight surprise. On the other hand, Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of happiness instead. He lacked time the most right now. So long as he was given sufficient time, then his strength would improve a step further, and his chances of going against God-rank experts would increase greatly. Right, the preliminary round of the 100 Battles competition takes 10 years. During these 10 years, both of you will undergo life and death tempering in the 100 Battles sacred domain, and the 8 people that kill the most enemies after 10 years will emerge victorious and enter the final round. Bing Luster explained the rules of the competition to Yi Chunfeng and Xiao Wendy in detail. Then Big Sister Bing, will people die in the 100 Battles sacred domain? Xiao Wendy continued. Logically speaking, no one will die. When your life is hanging by a thread, your participation tokens will shatter, and you'll be teleported out of the 100 Battles sacred domain. However, if your attacks are too strong and instantly exceed the tolerance of the token, then it's still possible to kill your opponent. Once you fail, the number of enemies you kill in the beginning will belong to the person that defeats you, said Bing Luster. As she spoke, Yi Chunfeng, Xiao Wendy, and Ling Yusin's participation tokens lit up at their waist. Yi Chunfeng quickly took off his golden glass battlesuit and handed it to Xiao Wendy along with the Rhino Jade pendant and True Spirit blood bead. He said, "Motzi, be careful. I'll find you as soon as possible." "Alright, you be careful too. I'll wait for you." Xiao Wendy nodded as she stared at Yi Chunfeng affectionately. The next moment, the three of them were engulfed by a powerful teleportation force, instantly disappearing from the lakeside building. P.S. Yi Chunfeng's picture has been posted. Add your friends on WeChat, YLTY83. Chapter 1659. What a rich heaven and earth spiritual energy. This is the 100 Battle Holy Realm. After being transported to the Universe Realm by the tournament token, Yi Chunfeng's mind immediately flooded with a large number of rules for the preliminaries. "Motzi, Lingyu, I hope nothing bad happens to you," Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself as he stood in midair with the Rhino Jade pendant on his wrist, looking at the lush ancient trees in the distance. Swish, 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 swish. Yi Chunfeng stood in midair and looked into the distance. Suddenly, an ear-piercing sound rang out. A 6-star heavenly emperor was hiding in the crown of an ancient tree that was several hundred feet tall. He was deducing a powerful Tao intent, pulling a high-grade True Spirit sacred bow, and shooting it at Yi Chunfeng, wanting to kill him. "Humph, a mere 6-star heavenly emperor dares to provoke me?" Yi Chunfeng coldly snorted and waved his arm. A mercury-like sword beam cleaved down, shattering the light arrows and shattering the ancient tree that the 6-star heavenly emperor was hiding in. Although the 6-star heavenly emperor sensed danger and instinctively dodged, Yi Chunfeng's strength far surpassed his. The sword beam that instantly intertwined still injured him, sending him flying several hundred meters and heavily slamming into the ground, suffering heavy injuries. Heaven escape! Having experienced Yi Chunfeng's terror, the 6-star heavenly emperor ignored his heavy injuries and used his powerful bloodline power to execute the celestial race's inherited divine ability. He instantly raised his speed to the peak and fled into the distance. "Can you escape?" Yi Chunfeng stepped out with his sword steps, instantly increasing his speed by several dozen times, closing the distance between them. In the next instant, Yi Chunfeng blasted out a fist at him. The terrifying fist beam shattered layers of space and smashed into his body, shattering the token on his body and sending him directly out of the 100 Battle Holy Realm, losing the qualifications to participate in the tournament. 1. Seeing the token at his waist flashing the number 1, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile. He switched to sword steps and flew into the depths of the forest at an extremely fast speed, searching for the next place. The 100 Battles Martial Tournament had attracted many races and over 500,000 disciples from various large factions to participate. However, the 100 Battle Holy Realm was too vast, and the Holy Realm contained many small worlds. Yi Chunfeng flew at top speed for about 3 days before he met 2 people and easily defeated them. Sigh, it is indeed not easy to find Motzi and Lingyu here. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and patiently continued to fly in the holy realm of 100 battles, looking for a target. After flying for a short while, suddenly, Yi Chunfeng's God-Eater brain, which was rapidly deducing, felt an extremely terrifying aura not far in front of him. This aura was so strong that Yi Chunfeng instinctively felt danger, causing him to not dare to approach. In the next moment, he discovered that the space in front of him was distorted in a large area. In the distorted space, there was a large hand that covered several miles of space. It collapsed a part of the space and heavily imprinted on the lush forest, causing a large area of the forest ground to collapse. A Dao God expert. Looking at the blurry figure in the distance, Yi Chunfeng felt that this person's strength was comparable to heavenly Dao. He should be one of the 5 Dao God experts from the Void God realm. Without hesitation, he sped up time by 4 times and raised his speed to the peak, escaping in the opposite direction at an extremely fast speed. The moment Yi Chunfeng left, an extremely fast spear shadow pierced through the air like a soaring dragon, stabbing towards Yi Chunfeng at an extremely fast speed. Heaven-level sword soul slash. Seeing that the spear light was about to pierce his body at an astonishing speed, the heaven-level sword soul flew out of Yi Chunfeng's soul sea. Fusing with a powerful Dao intent, it slashed at the dragon-like spear light. Ka ka ka. A series of cracking sounds were heard. The heaven-level sword soul lasted for 3 breaths of time before it was shattered by the terrifying sword light. However, Yi Chunfeng took advantage of the moment the heaven-level sword soul resisted and withdrew it. He dodged into the lush forest and avoided the spear attack. The moment Yi Chunfeng disappeared, the blurry figure that had collapsed a part of the world appeared. It released a powerful soul power to cover the surroundings. When it did not discover Yi Chunfeng's aura, it let out a surprised cry. It was surprised that Yi Chunfeng had the ability to escape from its pursuit. Strong, too strong. The strength of a God-level expert is too terrifying. I don't know if my life spirit technique and 10,000 years of lifespan will be able to contend against him. After personally experiencing the spear light that pierced through him, Yi Chunfeng had a vague understanding of the strength of a God-level expert. He concealed his aura and continued to search for an opponent in the forest. Walala, as he flew, Yi Chunfeng heard the sound of flowing water in the forest. After flying closer, Yi Chunfeng discovered that there were streams flowing slowly in the mountains, forming a small pool. In the center of the pool, a woman was standing by the pool, washing her body. Her snow-white back was exposed, and she was stirring the ice-cold water in the pool. Feeling Yi Chunfeng's aura, the woman screamed like a frightened rabbit. Half of her body sank to the side of the pool. She turned around and looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was not far away, in horror. Who are you? The woman with wet hair covered her towering breasts with her hands as she spoke in a panic. It was unknown if she did it on purpose or if she was too voluptuous, but her fair and tender hands could only cover part of her breasts. Her enchanting curves shimmered under the sunlight and were as eye-catching as poison. Your acting is not bad, but unfortunately, I'm not interested in you. As Yi Chunfeng looked at the woman exuding a charming aura, he revealed a faint smile as he walked over step by step in the air. I beg you, don't hurt me. Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who was getting closer and closer, tears welled up in the woman's charming eyes. Her lovely appearance aroused pity in others and stimulated the man's heart even more. Stop acting. Although the scene before him was very tempting, Yi Chunfeng was unmoved. He said indifferently, I'll give you a chance to attack. If you continue acting, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. If you're willing to let me go, I'm willing to agree to any of your conditions. The woman gently bit her moist lips and slowly stood up in the pool. Her seductive figure and enchanting spring scenery were completely exposed in front of Yi Chunfeng. Even now, you're still thinking of seducing me. I have to say, you're too naive. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng's fingertip shot out a sharp sword light. It cut through the air, and stabbed towards her at an extremely fast speed. Boom! The moment Yi Chunfeng stabbed the woman, her entire body suddenly exploded. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses detected danger in the pool. A long spear like a venomous snake broke through the ripples on the surface of the pool and attacked Yi Chunfeng, instantly entangling him. Kakik, cute human. Although you're harder to deceive than those stinky men, you still can't escape from my palm. After Yi Chunfeng was bound, the pool suddenly split open, revealing a charming woman with 2 fox tails. But seeing how soft and tender your skin is, Big Sister can't bear to kill you. How about this, you give me your yang essence and Big Sister will spare your life. So, it is a 3-tailed demon fox. Yi Chunfeng said indifferently when he saw the fox-tailed girl reveal her true form. He had figured out her true form. Following that, a terrifying power erupted from Yi Chunfeng's body, instantly breaking apart the whip that was binding his body and reaching the level of a mid-grade true spirit saint artifact. You, how can you be so strong? Seeing Yi Chunfeng easily break the whip, the fox-tailed woman's face changed. She wanted to run away without thinking. Suddenly, a terrifying dizziness blasted into her spiritual sea, causing her mind to go blank for a moment. Pung! Yi Chunfeng quickly struck out a palm. The terrifying power and Tao intent fused together, turning into an extremely powerful palm print. It distorted the space and ruthlessly imprinted on her body, directly breaking her identity token and sending her out of the Sage of Battle's realm. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect that she had already defeated 2 people. This time I've already defeated 6 people. After defeating the fox-tailed woman easily, the number of tokens on Yi Chunfeng's waist had reached 6. This made the smile on his face grow wider as he continued to look for his next target in the Sage of Battle's realm. Chapter 1660. Time passed day by day. In the Sage of Battle's realm, every minute and every second was filled with intense killing. Yi Chunfeng had defeated more than a dozen people after more than a month of killing, and the number in his token had reached 28. And what's ahead? Just as Yi Chunfeng was releasing his powerful soul spirit power to search for his opponents, he sensed a strong spirit energy fluctuation in a valley ahead. He was startled and immediately flew over. And what is that tree? After flying into the valley, Yi Chunfeng discovered that there was a strange-looking tree in the middle of the valley. It did not have a single leaf, and its branches were covered with thorns. Its entire body was dark gray, and its roots were exposed outside. It looked like a dead tree. Although the strange tree in front of him looked ordinary, the God-Eater brain, which was rapidly deducing, sensed a powerful spirituality from this strange tree. This is the myriad withering ancient tree. When Yi Chunfeng looked at this dark gray ancient tree, the God-Eater brain immediately recognized this ancient tree. The myriad withering ancient tree was one of the ancient mystical trees. It grew extremely slowly, 1 inch every 10,000 years. This myriad withering ancient tree was almost 30 meters tall, and it was probably close to 10 million years old. I didn't expect such a good thing to exist in the Sage of Battle's realm. Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and summoned the primal chaos divine wood. He controlled the primal chaos divine wood to devour this ancient myriad withering ancient tree. He had a feeling that if the primal chaos divine would succeeded in devouring this myriad withering ancient tree, it might evolve again. If the primal chaos divine would evolved further, it would definitely become his greatest trump card against the immortal expert. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Sensing the threat of the primal chaos divine wood, the myriad withering ancient tree immediately became restless. An old face appeared in the tree and spat out a large amount of wind to attack the primal chaos divine wood. After being attacked by the myriad withering ancient tree, the primal chaos divine wood immediately shook its 5-colored tree crown and shattered the terrifying wind. It started to fight with the myriad withering ancient tree in the valley. The intense battle between the 2 ancient trees caused a huge commotion. Streaks of spirit light shot up into the sky and attracted the attention of all the cultivators in a radius of dozens of miles. They all felt suspicious and flew towards the valley where the myriad withering ancient tree grew. What are those two divine trees? The experts of the various races who had hurried over revealed looks of disbelief when they saw the two ancient trees fiercely arguing with each other. There was even a burning light in the eyes of some people who wanted to take these two ancient trees for themselves. Those who approach without permission will be killed without mercy. Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes swept across the dozen or so cultivators of various races hovering in midair as he warned coldly. If it wasn't for the fact that the Chaos Divine would needed to wait while it was devouring the myriad withering ancient wood, he wouldn't have wasted his breath at all and directly charged over. What arrogance! I want to see how you're going to kill us with so many of us here. Although Yi Chunfeng's aura was very frightening, the temptation of the two ancient trees was too great. Many people lost their minds and summoned their weapons and treasures, wanting to work together to kill Yi Chunfeng. Cosmos Sword Formation. As the 6 monarch-level cultivators approached, Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the Cosmos Sword Array, which transformed into a boundless rain of swords that flew towards them. Not good. Dodge. Sensing the terror of the Cosmos Sword Array, the 6 monarch-level cultivators' expressions changed drastically. They all used powerful defensive trump cards to block the Cosmos Sword Array's attacks while rapidly retreating. However, the Cosmos Sword Array had been continuously upgraded. Its power was comparable to a low-grade Transcendent Saint artifact. The 6 monarch-level cultivators' defensive trump cards couldn't stop it at all. The rain of swords from the Cosmos Sword Array pierced through them and continued towards them. Miserable screams rang out as the 6 monarch-level cultivators' tokens were destroyed by the Cosmos Sword Array. They disappeared from the Sage of Battles amidst their fear and despair. After killing the 6, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Cosmos Sword Array to circle above his head. He coldly stared at the various cultivators, whose expressions had changed slightly, intimidating them. Screech! Screech! Suddenly, a whistling sound came from the distant horizon. A man dressed in beast hide and standing on an ancestral golden eagle flew over. His jet-black hair danced in the wind, and he had 1 foot in the 6-star Heavenly Lord realm. It's the celestial race itinerant cultivator, Yi Liyun. I didn't expect him to be drawn here. Seeing the man in beast skin riding his contracted beast, many people recognized his identity. Their eyes turned cold as they looked at Yi Chunfeng. Yi Liyun's attention was immediately drawn to the Chaos Divine Wood and myriad withering ancient wood. He ignored Yi Chunfeng's threat and quickly flew over. Cosmos Sword Array / As Yi Liyun approached, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Cosmos Sword Array to slash at him. Screech! Screech! The ancestral golden eagle immediately opened its sharp beak and spat out bolts of demonic light that attacked the Cosmos Sword Array. It wanted to block the Cosmos Sword Array's attack. When the ancestor beast golden eagle attacked him, Yi Liyun summoned a powerful halberd that had reached the level of half-transcendent saint artifact. It transformed into powerful halberd shadows that shook the Cosmos Sword Formation and resisted the attacks of the Cosmos Sword Formation. Cosmos Sword Array, Cosmos Strike. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Qiankuan Sword Formation that Yi Liyun had forced back and fused them together, forming an invincible Qiankuan giant sword. It slashed through space with a destructive power and slashed towards Yi Liyun, whose expression changed slightly. Not good. The Cosmos Strike's power was beyond Yi Liyun's imagination. In the blink of an eye, Yi Liyun controlled the ancestral golden eagle to dodge. But at this time, Yi Chunfeng's soul power exploded, forming a powerful dizziness that bombarded Yi Liyun and the golden eagle's soul. Yi Liyun relied on his powerful soul power to withstand the dizziness attack and dodge the Cosmos Strike. However, the ancestral golden eagle was affected and its reaction was delayed. It was hit by the Cosmos Strike. The golden eagle's huge body was split in half by the cosmos strike. It turned into a bloody mist in the air and died on the spot. So strong. This person is so strong. He actually killed a low-level ancestral golden eagle with a single strike. Many people were deeply shocked by Yi Qinfeng's strength after witnessing the cosmos strike kill the golden eagle. There were even some who turned and left in fright, not daring to target the primal chaos divine wood and myriad withering ancient tree. Courting death. The 100-battle saint realm had restrictions. Each person could only bring in one contracted beast, and the contracted beast's life and death were not under the 100-battle saint realm's protection. The death of the ancestral golden eagle had completely enraged Yi Liyun. He quickly used his most powerful trump card, forcibly raising his strength to the 6-star Heaven Lord realm. Wielding his half-transcendent saint artifact spear, he stabbed it at Yi Qinfeng. Primordial bloodline, ignite. As Yi Liyun thrust his spear, Yi Qinfeng instantly ignited his primordial bloodline, raising his physical strength to 16 billion jin, and punched out. When Yi Liyun's spear collided with Yi Qinfeng's fist, an unimaginable strength erupted from Yi Qinfeng's fist. Like a flood breaking through a dam, it forcibly bent the half-transcendent saint artifact spear, leaving Yi Liyun terrified. How is this possible? Could it be that he's not a human but an unparalleled demonic beast? Yi Liyun's eyes widened in shock after seeing the power of Yi Qinfeng's fist. He didn't dare to imagine that Yi Qinfeng's physical strength would be so terrifying. Not only did he block the attack of a half-transcendent saint artifact with a single punch, he even bent the spear. Heaven-grade sword soul slash. While Yi Liyun was still in shock, the heaven-grade sword soul flew out of Yi Qinfeng's sea of soul, turning into a 1-zhang-long sword that slashed at Yi Liyun. Boom! Unable to dodge in time, Yi Liyun was struck by the heaven-grade sword soul. All of his defensive trump cards were shattered, and his body fell from the sky like a kite with its string cut, smashing a large crater in the ground. Witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng heavily injuring the Tian clan's loose cultivator Yi Liyun, many people were shocked by his strength. Soon, only 3 master-level experts were left outside the valley, ready to reap the benefit. The others had all been scared away by Yi Qinfeng's shocking strength. Chapter 1661. Sky Rend. He was heavily injured, but his potential had been stimulated. He roared explosively, ignited his Dao core, and stabbed his spear towards Yi Qinfeng. Cosmos Sword Formation, Cosmos Strike. Yi Qinfeng's pupils constricted as numerous cosmos swords that emanated powerful Dao insights swiftly merged together and transformed into an invincible enormous sword. It tore open space and slashed apart Yi Liyun's Sky Rend into pieces. The terrifying sword image forcefully slashed Yi Liyun down from midair and worsened his injuries. Yi Liyun took a deep breath, suppressed his heavy injuries, and continued flying into midair. He continued stabbing his spear towards Yi Qinfeng. On the other hand, the 3 lords who were waiting outside the valley to reap the benefits suddenly launched attacks at Yi Qinfeng. They wanted to take a gamble before Yi Qinfeng blasted Yi Liyun out of the Sage of Battle's realm. You're finally unable to restrain yourself? Yi Qinfeng laughed coldly as he instantly fused with the Godblood Pearl, Chaos Pearl, and 2 True Soul Saint Flames, and instantly raised his strength to the peak of the 6-star Dao Lord realm. Shit! Yi Liyun and the others were shocked when they sensed Yi Qinfeng's explosive increase in strength, and they didn't even hesitate to flee swiftly. Can all of you escape? Sword of the Ethereal Dao. 4 heaven-level Dao diagrams appeared around Yi Qinfeng. As he slashed out with his sword, the 4 heaven-level Dao diagrams instantly transformed into an invincible great Dao that slashed through space, bringing with it endless destructive power as it shot towards Yi Liyun and the others. In an instant, the identity medallions on Yi Liyun's group of 4 shattered. The 4 of them were transported out of the Sage of 100 Battles realm by the medallion, escaping the calamity. Chaos Divine would devour with all your might. Meanwhile, the Chaos Divine would shattered the myriad withering ancient trees' attack, and then it stretched out a few tens of thousands of five-colored roots that took root in the myriad withering ancient tree and madly devoured its spirit. On the other hand, Yi Chunfeng sat cross-legged in silence beneath the myriad withering ancient tree and protected it. Very quickly, a day passed. Just as the Chaos Divine wood was about to swallow the myriad withered ancient wood, three thick demonic energies suddenly appeared. One of them had the strength of a six-star demon lord. His appearance caused the space around him to tremble. A terrifying aura swept towards Yi Chunfeng like an avalanche. What kind of divine wood is this? Looking at the Chaos Divine wood that emitted a five-colored divine light that dyed the space of the valley, a man wearing a black robe embroidered with dragon patterns and carrying a heavy sword on his back was deeply attracted to the Chaos Divine wood, revealing a look of greed. When he glanced at Yi Chunfeng, he noticed that Yi Chunfeng was only a third-star Daolord, so he directly disregarded him. Go, kill him. Such a divine object isn't something a nobody like him can get his hands on. The black-robed man ordered coldly. Yes, third young master. Two fourth-star demon lords obeyed. They held two sharp and heavy spears in their hands, and they carried shocking demonic energy as they attacked Yi Chunfeng with the intention of killing him. At the instant they approached Yi Chunfeng opened his tightly closed eyes, and a myriad of strands of sword light shot out from his deep eyes. He'd instantly fused with the Godblood Pearl and Chaos Pearl, and he'd instantly risen explosively to the fifth-star Daolord realm. In the next moment, his hands twisted swiftly and condensed into an extremely powerful stellar seal of the heavens and earth, and it carried terrifying destructive force as it slammed down towards them. Even though the stellar seal of the heavens and earth was a low-grade true spirit saint technique, Yi Chunfeng's attainments in Tao insights were too deep. Coupled with the fact that he'd poured terrifying energy into the stellar seal of the heavens and earth, it was practically comparable to a top-grade true spirit saint technique, and it smashed down towards them. Bang! Bang! The two celestial seals of heaven and earth shattered, and the terrifying destructive force crushed the defensive trump cards that the two of them had continuously used, shattering the long spears that they pierced over. The terrifying power instantly engulfed the two of them, directly shattering their identity tokens and sending them out of the Sage of Battle's realm. Damn it! You actually dared to kill a member of my Black Devil race. You're tired of living. The black-robed man was furious when he witnessed the scene of Yi Chunfeng crushing his companion with two seals, and his deep eyes flickered with a ferocious expression as he glared angrily at Yi Chunfeng and gnashed his teeth as he spoke. So you're from the Black Devil race. When he thought about the arrogant and conceited He Guangdao who'd set his sights on Xia Wendi, Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of an icy-cold smile and said, "Who else could I be if not He Guangdao? You know my big brother." The black-clothed man frowned slightly while his expression was livid. "I know who you are. You're called He Fenggu." Because of the enmity with the Black Devil race, Yi Chunfeng had once asked Ling Yusin about the Black Devil race. He knew that the Black Devil race had two great geniuses. One of them was He Guangdao, who had cultivated to the peak of six-star Demon Lord, and the other person was his younger brother, He Fenggu, who had cultivated to the six-star Demon Lord realm. "I didn't expect you to have some knowledge and know who I am." He Fenggu revealed a trace of arrogance and said, "However, you've killed a member of my Black Devil race. No one can save you. Is your Black Devil race a bunch of frogs at the bottom of a well who only know how to indulge in wild fantasies?" Yi Chunfeng sneered and said without any trace of politeness, "You're courting death." He Fenggu's eyes were filled with killing intent. A semi-transcending heaven's saint seal, which seemed to be carved out of white jade, with a white bull lying on its surface and mysterious Tao patterns engraved on its bottom, broke out of his body and bombarded Yi Chunfeng with a terrifying suppressive force. Chaotic divine wood, break! With a thought from Yi Chunfeng, The chaotic divine wood that had basically devoured the myriad withering ancient tree began to sway. The treetop that shone with 5-colored light viciously struck the semi-transcending heavens' saint seal. Crack! The suppressive force from the semi-transcending heavens' saint seal instantly shattered under the attack of the 5-colored treetop. Terrifying chaotic force wildly surged into the semi-transcending heavens' saint seal, forcefully cracking it. What? Heifungu's eyes widened. He could not believe that the 5-colored divine wood before him could crack his semi-transcending heavens' saint seal with a gentle whip. In the next moment, his vision blurred. Yi Chunfeng appeared before him in a flash, and threw a punch at his chest, forcing him to dodge instinctively. Boom! Yi Chunfeng's fist aura exploded between the 2 palms in front of his chest, causing a rebounding force to explode. Although Heifungu had relied on his absolute strength to block Yi Chunfeng's punch, he still felt pain from his palms. He was shocked by Yi Chunfeng's terrifying physical strength. "I'd like to see how many of my punches you can block." With that, Yi Chunfeng ignited his primordial blood and instantly raised his physical strength to nearly 20 billion. His strength also reached the level of Heifungu. Following that, Yi Chunfeng punched out a second time. The fist aura, which was filled with a force of nearly 100 million kilograms, had an unparalleled destructive power, and shattered the giant palm that Yi Chunfeng had condensed. It smashed into Yi Chunfeng's right palm, almost breaking his arms and sending him flying. How is this possible? How can a human's physical strength surpass an ancestral beast? Heifungu's eyes widened as he felt a severe numbness in his arms. He lost his composure and cried out, "You're surprised just like that? A frog at the bottom of a well is a frog at the bottom of a well. As expected, you're nothing." Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and continued to attack him with shocking momentum. The terrifying physical strength instantly suppressed his attacks and forced him to retreat. Chapter 1662. Good. Today, I will let you know who is the frog at the bottom of the well. Black Wind Valley was completely enraged by Yi Chunfeng's words. He used his most powerful trump card and instantly raised his strength to the peak of 6-star Demon Lord Realm. Then, ignoring the injury on his arm, he held the heavy sword on his back and continuously used the inherited divine ability of the Black Demon race. He launched a fierce counterattack at Yi Chunfeng. True Spirit Fighting Dragon Fist. Black Wind Valley attacked fiercely. Yi Chunfeng was like an invincible god of war standing in the air. He blasted out a series of powerful True Spirit Fighting Dragon Fists to meet Black Wind Valley's attack head-on. He continuously shattered Black Wind Valley's killer moves and forced him to retreat. Black Demon Lotus. Unable to resist Yi Chunfeng's True Spirit Fighting Dragon Fist, Black Wind Valley stimulated the strongest power of his Tao core. He split out numerous black lotus flowers and surrounded Yi Chunfeng. Explode. With a thought, Black Wind Valley's dozen black lotus flowers surrounding Yi Chunfeng suddenly exploded. The terrifying power formed a shocking destructive force that instantly engulfed him. Go to hell. Black Wind Valley's entire body instantly fused with the half-transcendent sacred artifact grade heavy sword and slashed at Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to take advantage of the moment when Yi Chunfeng was engulfed by the destructive force to heavily injure him and send him out of the Sage of Battle's realm. Buzz! The moment Black Wind Valley's half-transcendent sacred sword stabbed at Yi Chunfeng, he suddenly felt a powerful repulsive force transmitted from the half-transcendent sacred sword into his arms, causing his arms to go numb. "AI, your attack power is a bit too weak." Yi Chunfeng held the demon sealing sword and easily blocked his attack. The destructive force produced by the Black Demon Lotus self-destruction also didn't cause any harm to him. It's too early to say who will emerge victorious. I will let you see my final trump card. As he spoke, Black Fungu suddenly slapped his beast-controlling pouch and summoned a human-faced spider that was the size of a millstone, completely dark violet in color, and had 8 thin legs that were like spears. It was a mid-level ancestral beast. Human-face spider, I didn't expect a trash like you to be able to tame such a demonic beast. Back then in the misty secret realm, Yi Qinfeng had encountered the human-faced spider and experienced how terrifying it was. But now, he was no longer the same as before. The human-faced spider was no longer a threat to him. Ghostface, kill him. Black Wind Valley issued a kill order to the human-faced spider, ordering it to attack Yi Qinfeng. Hiss hiss hiss. Upon receiving Yi Qinfeng's order, the human-faced spider's sharp, thin legs suddenly exerted force. It leaped high into the air and spat out a highly toxic spider silk, attacking Yi Qinfeng in an attempt to entangle him. True sacred fire, melt. A large amount of highly toxic spider silk attack. Yi Qinfeng's body immediately ignited with 2 true sacred fires, enveloping his body and instantly melting the large amount of spider silk. 2 true sacred fires. Seeing the 2 true sacred fires of different forms gushing out of Yi Qinfeng's body, Black Wind Valley's eyes widened and his heart was even more shocked. True sacred fires were extremely rare in the heaven domain. Subduing them was even harder than ascending to the heavens. But Yi Qinfeng had subdued 2 true sacred fires. This made him feel even more terrified of Yi Qinfeng. Heaven rank sword soul slash. When the 2 true sacred fires melted the large amount of spider silk, the heaven rank sword soul flew out of Yi Qinfeng's sea of soul. It turned into an extremely powerful white sword light in the void and slashed at the human-faced spider, forcibly forcing it to retreat. So, it's you. Seeing Yi Qinfeng summon the heaven rank sword soul, Black Wind Valley immediately thought of a person that Black Wild Blade had mentioned and guessed Yi Qinfeng's identity. Demon Sealing Sword slash. Yi Qinfeng flew into the air with a shocking sword aura. The 4 heaven rank Dao diagrams fused into the Demon Sealing Sword, stimulating the Demon Sealing Sword's power. Misty Dao Sword. With a slash of the sword, a terrifying crack appeared in the chaotic space. The invincible sword light evolved into a great Tao of heaven and earth. With a frightening destructive power, it ruthlessly slashed at the human-faced spider's body. TSK. After being attacked by Yi Qinfeng's Misty Dao sword, a deep sword wound immediately appeared on the human-faced spider's body. Large amounts of blood and venom spewed out like a fountain. Black Demonic Gale Sword. Seeing that the human-faced spider was severely injured, Black Wind Valley immediately used a powerful True Spirit Saint skill to attack Yi Qinfeng. When he deduced his own Dao insight to the extreme, his entire body transformed into a terrifying black wind that swept through the heavens and the earth. The black wind was filled with a large number of sword inscriptions. Once one was trapped in the black wind, they would be instantly minced into pieces by the tens of thousands of sword inscriptions. 9-layered Black Tower suppress. With a thought, Yi Qinfeng's low-grade Transcendent Saint artifact, 9-layered Black Tower, broke out of his body and floated in the air. It released a 9-layered suppression power that distorted the space within a few miles and ruthlessly suppressed Black Wind Valley's Black Demonic Gale Sword. Boom. After receiving the attack of the 9-layered Black Pagoda, the Black Demonic Gale Sword that Black Fengu had transformed into trembled violently. The terrifying power ruthlessly bombarded Black Fengu's body, directly suppressing him from midair to the ground. White Ox Seal. After being suppressed by the 9-layered Black Tower, Black Wind Valley immediately summoned the White Ox Seal that was cracked by the Chaos Divine Wood. He controlled the White Ox Seal to attack the 9-layered Black Tower and weaken its suppression. At this moment, Yi Qinfeng continued to attack the human-faced spider with the Demon Sealing Sword in his hand. The ferocious attacks were each stronger than the previous, constantly injuring the human-faced spider and forcing it to retreat. Purple Lightning, extinguish. Yi Qinfeng became one with the weapon and turned into a huge sword. When he slashed the human-faced spider from the air to the ground, He summoned the purple lightning and poured all the golden Tao energy in his body into the purple lightning. He then blasted a palm at the heavily injured human-faced spider. Ka ka ka! Tens of thousands of purple lightning streaked across the sky with terrifying destructive power. It bombarded the human-faced spider's bloody body, shattering its flesh and cutting off its vitality. After that attack, Yi Chunfeng relied on the primordial blood's boundless Tao energy to continue controlling the purple lightning to attack. After 2 attacks, the human-faced spider's huge body was pierced through by the purple lightning. More than half of its body was severely damaged. It looked like it would not survive. Human brat, you dare to kill my contract beast. My black demon race will not rest until you die. Looking at the human-faced spider that was on the verge of death, Black Wind Valley, who was using the white ox seal to resist the 9-layered black tower, let out an angry roar. This human-faced spider had followed him for countless years. It was his biggest trump card. If the human-faced spider was killed, it would cause him an immeasurable loss. Black demon race is nothing. Yi Chunfeng was unmoved. He controlled the purple lightning to attack for the 3rd time. It shot out tens of thousands of purple lightning and bombarded the human-faced spider's head. It directly shattered its head and killed it. After killing the human-faced spider, Yi Chunfeng attacked Black Wind Valley, who had just escaped the 9-layered Black Tower's suppression, with the demon sealing sword in his hand. He continued to attack him fiercely. At this moment, Black Wind Valley had used up all his trump cards and was powerless to reverse the situation. As his injuries worsened, he was unable to withstand Yi Chunfeng's ferocious attacks at all. He was sent flying by Yi Chunfeng's sword. The identity medallion on his body shattered. He was unwillingly sent out of the realm of 100 battles by the medallion, humiliated and disqualified from the competition. It's over 100. After destroying Black Wind Valley's identity token, Yi Chunfeng found that the number on his identity token had exceeded 100 and reached 108. He smiled faintly. Chaos Divine Wood, keep. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng stored the Chaos Divine Wood, which had begun to evolve after devouring the ancient Withering Wood. He quickly left the heavily damaged valley and continued to search for his target. Chapter 1663. Day after day passed by, and intense battles were occurring in every corner of the Saint of Battle's domain. On the other hand, there were 4 jade discs that were over 100 m tall floating in the sky in the east, west, south, and north of 100 Battle City. The names of the top 100 genius disciples in the Saint of Battle's domain were displayed on the jade disc. Yi Chunfeng. Who exactly is this fellow? He's actually ranked in the top 10. I've never heard of him. When Yi Chunfeng heavily injured Blackwind Gorge and slashed him out of the Saint of Battle's domain, his ranking had soared through the jade discs and surpassed over 100 people to directly charge into the top 10, and it caused a mighty uproar in 100 Battle City. Yi Chunfeng. It wouldn't be him, right? A man in a dark blue robe. His long hair hung loosely on his shoulders, and his cold face revealed a trace of surprise, as he muttered to himself. Young Master Yi isn't simple at all. Perhaps it really might be him. He's here to take revenge. Beside him, a burly man in a fiery red martial arts suit said in a low voice. He was exuding a fiery aura. These 2 people were Ming Shifang and the Fire Qilin who'd been sent to the Outer World battlefield by the Lord of the Dark North. After fusing with the Lord of the Dark North's trump cards and experiencing the tempering of the Outer World battlefield, their strengths had improved greatly. Ming Shifang hadn't just recovered from his injuries, he'd even charged into the 3rd star Dowlord realm in one go, whereas the Fire Qilin had even transformed into a low-rank ancestral beast. I hope so. If it really is him, then perhaps he'll be able to help junior sister. Ming Shifang took a deep breath as he'd been constantly worried about the safety of the spirit fish. In next to no time, half a year had passed. During this half a year, Yi Chunfeng held the Rhino Jade pendant in his hand and ceaselessly searched for Xia Wendy. However, the Saint of Battle's domain was too huge, so he was unable to sense Xia Wendy through the Rhino Jade pendant. Right when Yi Chunfeng was bitterly searching for Xia Wendy had been blocked off by the experts of the Azure Sky clan in a beautiful gorge. Little beauty, obediently hand over the holy fruit you plucked and let us have some fun. Maybe we'll let you go if we're in a good mood. A 3-star Taoist master of the Green Sky clan, who was wearing a dark blue martial arts suit and had a sharp face and burning eyes, held a long spear in his hand. He stared straight at Xia Wendy's beautiful face and sexy tall body with evil intentions. You're courting death. Xia Wendy looked at the 6 warriors of the Qintian clan with disgust. She merged the true spirit blood bead and the star and moon bead in an instant, increasing her power to the extreme. She held the Phoenix Dance Blade, a supreme grade true spirit saint weapon, and the white bell floating in the air, attacking the 6 warriors of the Qintian clan. White Bell. Why is the treasure of 9 Clarity Mountain Town, the White Bell, in your hands? The White Bell was very famous in the Heaven Domain. Seeing Xia Wendy summon the White Bell, many people recognized the origin of this supreme treasure and were shocked. Buzz buzz buzz. As they were still in shock, Xia Rune Butterfly summoned 3 Heaven Step Dao diagrams and fused them into the White Bell. Immediately, an awe-inspiring ringing sound filled the air, rumbling into their spiritual seas. Slash through the cloud. When the brains of the 6 Blue Sky race warriors were suddenly attacked by the White Bell, their reactions slowed down. Xia Wendy jumped up high, and an ear-piercing sound of a bird came out of the Phoenix Dance Saber. 9 vivid and lifelike shadows of phoenixes broke out of the Phoenix Dance Saber and turned into 9 saber shadows, slashing toward the 6 people. Sensing the danger, the 6 powerful warriors of the Qintian clan came back to their senses and tried their best to defend. However, Xia Wendy's power was also horrifying. The slash through the cloud tore their defense apart and damaged their bodies. In the blink of an eye, the identity tokens of the 3 major warriors of the Qintian clan were broken by the slash through the cloud. They were sent out of the realm of 100 battles and eliminated. After shattering 3 identity tags with one attack, Xia Wendy followed up with another attack. She controlled the White Bell to descend from the sky, bringing with it a terrifying power as it smashed into the remaining 3 Cyan Sky race master-level experts, forcing them back step by step. Damn it. When we catch you, we'll take off all your clothes and show you how powerful we are. The sharp-faced man didn't expect Xia Wendy's power to be so horrifying that she could injure 3 of his companions instantly. He was furious and kept performing his trump cards to resist the White Bell's attack. He fought fiercely with Xia Wendy. When the sharp-faced man burned his Taoist core at all costs and performed his most powerful killing move to resist the White Bell's fatal attack, his 2 companions approached Xia Wendy tacitly. They held their true spirit saint treasures and attacked her fiercely from both sides. Xia Wendy didn't dodge the sudden attack of the 2 powerful warriors of the Qintian clan. Instead, she continued to infuse her powerful Taoist intent into the White Bell to trigger its attack and counterattack. Boom! The 2's killing moves landed on Xia Wendy's body one after another. However, the next moment they were dumbfounded. They saw a set of armor giving out dark golden light appear on Xia Wendy's body. It covered her whole body and dissolved their attacks easily. Boom! While they were still in shock, the White Bell descended and ruthlessly slammed into the body of a person. The terrifying power directly shattered the person's defense, breaking his identity medallion and sending him out of the 100 battles sacred realm. It's your turn now. Xia Wendy was like an invincible goddess of war. She held the Phoenix Dance Saber and attacked fiercely. Many phoenix shadows flew out and evolved into the terrifying power of the Great Tao. She attacked the Azure Sky clan's expert, who was frightened and tried his best to retreat. Before the sharp-faced man, who was the strongest among them, could come to his rescue, he broke through his body's defense and slashed at his head. Bang! A crack appeared on his head, and the identity badge on his body was also broken at this moment. If the identity badge hadn't sent him out of the realm of 100 battles in time, Xia Wendy's attack would have cut him in half and killed him on the spot. Okay. I admit defeat this time. But wait and see. The Qintian clan will definitely get even with you. The sharp-faced man didn't expect Xia Wendy's combat power to be so horrifying. He didn't dare to resist anymore. He wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. Want to leave? It's too late, Xia Wendy said with murderous intent. The heavenly star diagram evolved into thousands of stars and fell from the void, blocking his way out. The next moment, Xia Wendy held her Fengwu saber and hit the white bell fiercely. It formed an overwhelming sound wave that bombarded his soul and weakened his attack. Boundless Great Way. His path of retreat was sealed off by the heavenly star Tao diagram. His soul had suffered a heavy injury, and blood flowed from his 7 apertures. He executed the strongest attack he possessed, and the Tao insight in his entire body transformed into a boundless grand Tao that was like a terrifying roaming dragon as it blasted towards Xia Wendy. White bell break. The horrifying Boundless Great Way attack. Xia Wendy immediately controlled the white bell to meet it. She resisted the attack of the Boundless Great Way with its destructive power. Sky escape. Seizing this opportunity, the sharp-faced man ignored the damage to his body and used his trump card to escape. He forcefully passed through the space sealed by the heavenly star diagram. Seeing him forcefully break through the blockade of the heavenly star Tao diagram, Xia Wendy raised all her strength and Tao intent to the limit. She forcefully threw out the phoenix dance blade in her hand, which transformed into a lifelike true phoenix that slashed towards him. No. Following that, the thin-faced man let out a scream of terror. The identity medallion on his body was shattered by the phoenix dance saber. He unwillingly glanced at Xia Wendy, and was sent out of the realm of 100 battles by the broken medallion. He was eliminated. Chapter 1664. Amazing, really amazing. I didn't expect you to be so strong. You really opened my eyes. When Xia Wendy killed the 6 almighty beings of the Qing sky race, a crisp slap sound was heard. A tall and straight man wearing a white martial arts suit appeared. He had a delicate and handsome face with a hint of heroic spirit. His eyes were deep and powerful, as if he could see through thousands of miles. Looking at the white-robed man who had suddenly appeared, Xia Wendy's pupils shrank. She felt an intense aura of danger from him. Without even thinking, she turned around and prepared to leave. Wait, miss. I don't have any evil intentions. I just want to be friends with you. Seeing that Xia Wendy wanted to leave, Tian Wufa took a step forward and crossed thousands of meters in an instant, blocking her way. What, you want to avenge them? Xia Wendy controlled the white bell to float above her head. She held the phoenix dance blade and looked at Tian Wufa vigilantly. I said, I don't have any evil intentions. Tian Wufa shook his head. Looking at Xia Wendy's hostile eyes, he showed a handsome smile and said, What, you don't believe me? Since you don't have any evil intentions, don't stop me from leaving. Xia Wendy felt more and more afraid of Tian Wufa. She had a feeling that even if she used all her treasures, she wouldn't be able to fight him. Leaving quickly was the only choice. It seems like you still don't believe me. Tian Wufa smiled and said sincerely, but I did fall in love with you at first sight. Don't keep me at arm's length. Otherwise, I'll be very sad. I'm sorry, I already have a husband. Xia Wendy looked at Tian Wufa, who kept blocking her way. She kept thinking of ways to escape. It doesn't matter. This doesn't affect my liking you. Tian Wufa said, Oh right, I still don't know your name. I wonder if you're interested in traveling with me? If you want to travel with me, that's fine. But I have 2 conditions. Xia Wendy felt that she couldn't get rid of Tian Wufa. She had to change her strategy and said, First, you can't hurt me. Second, you have to block my blade attack. Let me see your strength. Of course, Tian Wufa said confidently, I'll stand right here. If you can force me back a step, I'll leave immediately. I won't bother you anymore. Good. Xia Wendai took a deep breath and said, Pay attention. After saying that, Xia Wendi used all of her trump cards and raised her battle prowess to the limit. In the next moment, her graceful body merged with the phoenix dance saber, transforming into a lifelike phoenix that soared in the sky. Boundless will of the Wei slashed at Tian Wufa. Good strength. Facing Xia Wendi's saber attack, Tian Wufa let out a wild roar. A powerful sound wave erupted from his mouth, shattering Xia Wendi's saber attack and causing Xia Wendi's soul to tremble. She was unable to use this opportunity to escape. Now that I've blocked Miss' attack, can Miss agree to travel with me? Tian Wufa said with a proud smile after shattering Xia Dai's attack. Why do you insist on pestering me? With your strength, there should be no lack of women around you, right? After seeing Tian Wufa's strength, Xia Wendi's heart sank. She didn't dare to provoke him and could only think of other ways to escape. Miss, you're different from those women. Not to mention your born Taoism aptitude, your beauty is unparalleled. I fell in love with you at first sight. Tian Wufa said with a faint smile, not stingy with his praise. Remember our agreement. If you dare to hurt me, I'll shatter your identity token. Xia Wendi warned coldly. She moved her slender legs and walked out of the valley. What an enchanting girl! Looking at Xia Wendi's slender, flawless legs and voluptuous body, the smile on Tian Wu Fei's face grew wider. With a light tap of his foot, he instantly crossed hundreds of meters and appeared beside Xia Wendi, walking side by side with her. Miss, I still don't know your name. My surname is Gu Nai Nai, Xia Wendi said coldly, rolling her eyes at the pestering Tian Wufa. It seems that Miss has deep enmity towards me. Tian Wufa smiled and said, but I believe that it won't be long before Miss changes her opinion of me. Perhaps, Xia Wendi said in a neutral tone. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. They hadn't gone far when an ear-piercing sound rang out. An unruly man wearing a dark blue robe, tall and straight like a pine tree, wielding a sharp spear, jet-black long hair casually draped over his shoulders, suddenly broke through an ancient tree, thrusting towards Xia Wendi and Xia Wendi at an extremely fast speed. Xia Wendi's expression changed as she was suddenly attacked by the blue-robed man's sharp spear. Without hesitation, she summoned her white bell to defend herself. But Tian Wufa's reaction was even faster. He took a step forward, and mysterious heavenly runes appeared under his feet, forming an invincible heavenly sword that slashed out. Pfff. The blue-robed man's spear was shattered. The invincible heavenly sword carried a heaven-shaking sword aura and directly sent the blue-robed man flying, smashing into several ancient trees. Who are you? The blue-robed man was a 5-star demon lord. He rarely had an opponent in the Sage of 100 Battles. After experiencing the terror of Tian Wufa, he knew that he had kicked an iron plate. Someone like you is not worthy of knowing who I am, Tian Wufa arrogantly said. He took another step forward, and mysterious sword runes appeared under his feet as he attacked the blue-robed man. Seeing how terrifying Tian Wumal was, the blue-robed man continued to use one defensive trump card after another. However, Tian Wuma's attacks were too terrifying. The terrifying sword pattern destroyed his defensive trump cards like breaking through dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Once again, he was sent flying. Numerous sword wounds appeared on his body, and a large amount of blood spurted out. If you can block one more kick of mine, I'll let you go. Tian Wufa placed his hands behind his back and walked step by step toward the blue-robed man, who had fallen to the ground and was bleeding profusely. Good, come. The blue-robed man knew that escaping was impossible. He quickly combusted his powerful Dao core to suppress his injuries and transformed into his strongest combat form, preparing to face Tian Wufa's attack head-on. Gotcha! Tian Wufa stepped forward, and the ground beneath his feet instantly cracked. terrifying sword runes directly cut through space, like a whale breaking through the waves, bombarding the blue-robed man. Break for father! Tian Wufa stepped on the sword runes and attacked. The blue-robed man did not blindly defend. Instead, he raised his attack to the peak and stabbed out with his spear, piercing the whale formed by the sword runes. Ka! When he forcefully broke through the sword patterns, the whale that was riding the wind and breaking the waves shattered, transforming into countless sword shadows that instantly engulfed the blue-robed man. The terrifying attack directly shattered his identity medallion, blasting him out of the realm of 100 battles. Xia Wendy coldly glanced at Tian Wufa, who had displayed his divine might and defeated the blue-robed man with 3 kicks. Her face was expressionless as she continued to walk away. I don't believe that I can't conquer you. Although Xia Wendy was neither happy nor sad, Tian Wufa's interest in her increased. He did not believe that he could conquer Xia Wendy with his methods. Chapter 1665. Time flew by and soon 3 months had passed. During these 3 months, Xia Wendy had been unable to escape Tian Wufa, but he had not harmed her. Hold on. There's something in the valley up ahead. Suddenly, Tian Wufa's eyes lit up as he called out to Xia Wendy, who was at the front of the group. Let's go and take a look. Xia Wendy was looking forward to encountering some great danger that could trap Tian Wufa. That way, she would be able to escape him. Buzz buzz buzz. The two of them had just entered a valley filled with strange rocks and very little vegetation when a large amount of golden light burst out from the depths of the valley, dyeing the sky golden. Following this, the sounds of intense fighting came from the depths of the valley, causing space to distort and the ground to tremble. Just who is fighting in the valley? Xia Wendy grimaced as she sensed the terrifying energy surging out of the valley. It should be 2 6-star lords fighting over a treasure in the depths of the valley, Tian Wufa calmly said with a faint smile. Forget it. Let's leave this place. It's too dangerous to fight over a treasure with them. Xia Wendy feigned weakness. What are you afraid of? With me here, who can harm you? Tian Wufa proudly said. Let's go and take a look. If the treasure in the valley is really precious, I'll give it to you as a gift. As he spoke, Tian Wufa reached out to grab Xia Wendy, wanting to grab her soft hand. However, Xia Wendy had long since been on guard and dodged to the side, preventing Tian Wufa from succeeding. Tian Wufa was not angry, but his resolve to conquer Xia Wendy grew even stronger. When they arrived at the end of the valley, Tian Wufa saw 2 men with terrifying auras fighting in the void. Because they were both 6-star lords, they created a great deal of destruction. The end of the valley had been destroyed beyond recognition. However, at the end of the heavily damaged valley, there was a pure land shrouded in white light that was unaffected. In this pure land was a strange flower that was half a meter tall. Its petals were of 5 different colors, and the center of the flower seemed to evolve the great Tao. The Daemization flower. Heaven couldn't immediately recognize this strange flower. It was the Daemization flower recorded in ancient texts that could manifest the great Tao. It was infused with heaven-level Tao intent, and its value was comparable to that of a transcendent divine artifact. I didn't expect a Daemization flower to grow here. Tian Wufa smiled faintly and said, Fresh flowers go with beautiful women. This Tao-melting flower is a perfect match for your born Taoism aptitude. Wait here, I'll go get it for you. Even though the 2 fighting in the void were extremely powerful, Tian Wufa didn't put them in his eyes. He turned into a sword shadow and flew towards the Tao transformation flower shrouded in the white light of the Pure Land. You are courting death. The 2 of them did not expect that an outsider would barge in to steal the Daemization flower. With a roar, they gave up on attacking each other and attacked Tian Wufa with thunderous momentum. A motley crew. Tian Wufa didn't want to show off his power in front of Xia Wendy. His hands moved rapidly, forming a millstone-sized hand seal that distorted space and shot toward the 2 of them. Boom! The attacks of the two six-star lords collided with Tian Wufa's hand seal, exploding with earth-shattering destructive power. Swish, swish. As the three terrifying forces clashed in the void, two sharp weapon lights tore through the destructive storm and attacked Tian Wufa with shocking speed. Spatial isolation. Tian Wufa gently waved his arm. A deep fissure appeared in the space before him. Terrifying spatial power surged out of the fissure, neutralizing the attacks of the two. Lion head mirror break. The muscular man in a black robe summoned a bronze mirror embedded in a lion's head. It reflected a hazy yellow light toward Tian Wufa. The white-robed man with a long spear shot out a pair of pearls of fire and water. They turned into a Tao wheel that descended from the sky. Humph, you want to hurt me with just half a transcendent divine artifact? Tian Wufa snorted. An 8 trigrams plate with the will of heaven and earth appeared around him. It turned into a mysterious 8 trigrams formation above his head and blocked the attacks of the two halves. Then, Tian Wufa's body surged with terrifying will of heaven and earth, pouring into the 8 trigrams plate. It changed the 8 trigrams array, forming a large number of offensive arrays that bombarded the two of them, crushing their attacks as easily as breaking rotten wood. 8 trigrams plate, you're Tian Wufa from the Divine Sky Clan. Although the two didn't know Tian Wufa, they recognized the famous 8 trigrams plate in the alien battlefield. 1,000 years ago, Tian Wufa used it to destroy a human holy ground in the alien battlefield. He even used the plate to destroy the foundation of that holy ground, turning it into a wasteland. Yes, it's me. Tian Wufa proudly declared. The daemization flower is mine. Do you have any objections? We found it first, we can't just give it away. Although Tian Wufa was powerful and came from the strongest clan in the Void God realm, the daemization flower was too attractive. They couldn't give it up and decided to take the risk. If that's the case, then come at me together. If I can't defeat you in 10 moves, the daemization flower will be yours. Tian Wufa arrogantly declared. Then let us experience the abilities of the Divine Sky Clan. With that, the two 6-star lords who were fighting a bloody battle decided to work together and use their strongest attacks. They activated the power of their halves and attacked Tian Wufa with all their might. 8 trigrams plate, reverse the universe. The lion head mirror and the pearls of water and fire attacked again. Tian Wufa controlled his low-grade transcendent saint treasure, the 8 trigrams plate, to reverse the universe and destroy space. It forced the two halves back. At this moment, the attacks of the two 6-star lords came one after another. They were like 2 bolts of lightning that tore through the sky and bombarded Tian Wufa's body. Humph! Tian Wufa snorted coldly. A heaven-grade Tao disc of swords appeared in his body. Endless sword will poured out from the disc, breaking through the attacks of the two of them. It swept through the void and attacked the two of them. Although they were fighting 1 against 2, Tian Wufa was far stronger than them. Coupled with the terrifying might of the 8 trigrams plate, the two of them were soon unable to withstand Tian Wufa's ferocious attacks. Their injuries began to worsen. Buzz buzz. Just as the three of them were getting fiercer and fiercer, and Xia Wendy was about to use this chance to leave, she suddenly felt the rhino jade pendant at her waist vibrate. Qingfeng. Qingfeng has finally found me. Xia Wendy's beautiful eyes shone with an enchanting light, and her suspended heart couldn't help but relax. Although Tian Wufa was terrifyingly strong, he had blind faith in Yi Qingfeng. He believed that Yi Qingfeng was completely capable of defeating Tian Wufa. Through the rhino jade pendant, Xia Wendy told Yi Qingfeng her location. She suppressed the excitement in her heart and waited in silence for Yi Qingfeng to arrive. 9 moves. If you can block 1 more, I'll give you this daemization flower, Tian Wufa roared. He deduced the Tao intent he cultivated to the extreme and used the legacy ability of the Divine Sky race. Divine 100 Battle Soldiers. The rapidly deduced Tao insights instantly transformed into various forms of divine weapons, carrying a despair-inducing murderous aura as they blasted towards the two of them. Bang! 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 A series of cracking sounds rang out. The defensive trump cards that the two of them had been using were shattered. They were sent flying by the divine 100 battle soldiers and sent out of the battle's sacred realm by their shattered identity medallions. They had been miserably eliminated.